Good morning, everybody. It's Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5, The Fanatic. As we get some Phillies action to talk about today. Last week, I remember came in on a Monday. Oh, my God, this guy's balling. How can he get swept by the Pirates? And a week goes by, and they go 5-1 against two decent teams, the Cubs and the Toronto Blue Jays. So where are the Phillies right now? I don't know, but we can laud what's good. For the time being, their starting pitching has been amazing, and they hit yesterday. So let's just go over the starting pitching. Wheeler yesterday, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts, 0 walks. Saturday, Sanchez, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 0 walks. Friday, Ranger, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 0 walks. And then Wednesday, Luzardo, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts, 0 walks. If you don't walk people, you can win. The starting pitching has been pretty solid. Now, let's look at their hitting. Yesterday, they bashed. And 4 hits by Otto Kemp. And I wonder what it means. Because now I'm going to stretch it. Because I heard the morning show talking about, and they're ripping poor Bryce Harper. He can't do anything about anything right now, and he's getting ripped for not going into the outfield and not being willing to go into the outfield. I'm curious to know whether the morning show was alluding to the fact that the Phillies would be better off with Otto Kemp playing first base and Bryce moving to an outfield position. Maybe back to right field and Castellanos moves to left, and you got a little more balance in the outfield. I hope they're not doing that. I hope so. I hope not. Let's bring in Ray Dunn here. Ray, are we alluding to the fact that Otto Kemp now should be the regular first baseman and Bryce Harper should go back to the outfield?
I saw people on social media alluding to it, and all I could hear was your voice in my head. This town's obsessed with temps. He's a temp. He's a temporary player.
Listen, the kid had a moment. All right, he's slapping around singles. His slugging percentage is not very high. He hits a lot of singles, and he hustles. He can run a little bit. Nice little, he's like Luke Williams when they brought him up. And I go, come on now. Are we really going to fall into that rabbit hole where we're going to go overboard for Otto Kemp and say, well, if he could play first base and he can move Bryce to the outfield, are we going to do that? I hope not. Ray, are we doing that?
Not yet, certainly.
People are alluding to it, though, right?
Oh, I saw it all over social media yesterday. I was just perusing as I was doing the show yesterday afternoon, and I just saw people like, well, with 4 hits today, you got to wonder when Harper comes back, is he due for it? Was like, whoa. I don't know if you have to wonder. I think you should just enjoy Otto Kemp having a nice moment. That hasn't been a net negative to have him on the team.
I was kind of obsessed with the U.S. Open yesterday, so what kind of hits did he get? I know he had a line drive single that brought in 2 runs. What were his other 3 hits?
Yeah, he's hit the ball, there's been flashes of him hitting the ball hard, but for base hits. It's not. Yeah. I don't think you've found this guy right now that we're thinking is going to be a perennial 20 home run guy yet, given what he's given you. I mean, it's been a nice start to his career. You get the 4 hits yesterday, but you allude to where the slugging percentage is as compared to what he's got. Like, his OPS is still a 766 while he's hitting 345. It's not exactly like his slugging percentage is off the wall. It's a 379 compared to a 345 average. Telling you he's got 1 extra base hit up here. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah. Listen, nice story. Nice kid. Seems like a nice enough kid with the mustache look. So they outscored the Jays in this series 22-6. That's all good. We're worried about the offense keeping up with the starting pitching. And I go, okay, now they're in the 3rd seed. So this is the way it changes. Like, we were talking about them being in the 6th seed just a few days ago and how they were in danger of missing the playoffs. Now they're firmly entrenched as a 3 seed, which means they would play the Milwaukee Brewers in the first-round series. If it stays like that, Mets, Cubs, Phillies, Giants, Padres, Brewers, they got the Brew Crew in the first round.
And I think they could handle the Brew Crew.
I'll take that. So if they can maintain and do that, then they've got a chance to win a series and get to the next round and and face whoever. Wait a minute. No, they're not. They're not. I'm sorry. That's the Brew Crew. The Dodgers. I'm missing the Dodgers. in there. So
don't want the Dodgers. Never mind.
No,
Start losing.
Never mind. The Dodgers would be the 3 seed. The Phillies would then play the Giants or the Padres.
I'm curious, though, for the people that last week, because you mentioned it last week at the start of the week, and we were all frustrated with them, but there's definitely people that were like, this team's not a playoff team. This team doesn't have enough to get there. Does last week do anything for you, for those people? Like, I'm so curious what the payoff is for people that were watching, like, this isn't a playoff team. They have the success they had last week. Do they enjoy it? Or they're just like, you know what, I think the other shoe's about to fall for this team anyways?
I think they're a playoff team. Now, listen, they got 4 bobs here. If they don't sweep this series against those utterly disgusting Miami Marlins, with Abel tonight going against Alcantara, who can't get anybody out these days, they should sweep 4, and then the schedule gets a little tougher. We'll see a cluster of really good teams. Are they a playoff team? Yeah, they're a playoff team. Now, are they a playoff team that can win something? Not until they make a significant deal, which leads me to the deal that was made yesterday. The Boston Red Sox get rid of Rafael Devers to the Giants, and that strengthens the Giants, certainly, for what looks like not a great return. I don't know. I think when you get rid of a disgruntled player and you get rid of a salary like that, you're better off. So, the Red Sox are building with youth. This guy's really been a pain in the butt. And I know I say baseball is an individual sport, but like stuff like that rubs off. When you're disgruntled all the time, it rubs off. And when you're fighting with the front office all the time, it rubs off. So I don't think the Red Sox made that bad of a deal. Do you? Yes. You do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, come on.
People are comparing this to a Luka deal. It's like, come on.
Well, yeah.
You did get some pretty good players in return, and you got rid of the salary. You got rid of $300 million, man. That's not cheap.
Yeah, for one of what, the 15 best hitters in baseball?
Yeah, all right. But
that's the going rate for them these days.
He's always pitching and moaning. You can't do anything with him. It's like Harper's never, as far as we know, not refused to play a certain position. This guy goes, no, I don't want to play first base. Forget about it.
But the way they went about doing this, there was no communication like, hey, we're bringing in Bregman. We're going to need you to make an adjustment here. That they brought in Bregman. He didn't know that until Bregman got there, and then they had the conversation with him. Like, I feel like that's a conversation. If you're one of the franchise cornerstones, hey, this is the plan we're going with. They would never. The Phillies let Harper pick where he was going to play in the field, and then adjusted their offseason to that said plan.
I guess, but it's like I'm enough with the firing the players. You got to put a lineup out there. But the worst you could have had was him being your DH if Bregman was going to play third base. So, sometimes self-evaluation is really good. Like, is he as good a third baseman as Bregman?
No.
Okay. Well, then, you got a guy who plays the position a little better. Suck it up. Play first base now.
Again. He should make the move for his team. They created the circumstances, though, where he was left in the dark until the move was made.
Yeah.
That's not something I think you do to a guy you paid $300 million to be one of your franchise cornerstones.
I hear you. And the natural implication is, should the Phillies have been in on this? And I go, where? Like, where would he have played for them?
So the idea that comes from here is you do not have Kyle Schwarber under contract past this season. Could there have been a world... And it does get kind of muddied by the fact of where Harper is health-wise right now. Do you think you could even move him to the outfield this season, given his health concern right now? Suspend that for a second. If that was not the hurdle that you have to pass right now, is there a world where you could have brought in Devers, either had him at third, moved Bohm to first, had him at first, had Bohm over at third? Because, again, the Giants go make this move, and they have Matt Chapman, who they expect to be a part of their team this season, at third base.
Yeah.
So Devers will not get his preferred spot of third base in this sign-up. And from what it was reported, I think Heyman said that his party says that he's happy about this, that he's good with the move to San Francisco.
Okay.
So if he's happy at a place where he's not playing third base, could he have been your first baseman? And you kick Harper into the outfield.
Oh, so it's the same concept. Instead of Otto Kemp, you have Devers playing first.
But it's a short-term move for Harper because Devers ends up becoming your designated hitter once Schwarber walks.
If you lose Schwarber.
Right. Could you have done that type of puzzle piece moving around to bring in a perennial hitter to this lineup? At the price, again, they sold him very low because you mentioned he's disgruntled and it's a big contract that they wanted to get off of.
Well, they sell him? They gave him their most promising starting pitcher, the young kid who was drafted. They gave him the first-round draft pick this year. Who else did they give him? They
gave him Tibbs, Harrison. They got off of the Jordan Hicks contract, which is impressive for them.
Jordan Hicks is nothing.
And what was the fourth one in that deal? And they gave him Bello, who is I don't even think he's in their
Single
top
A.
40
He's single A.
prospects across their organization.
Yeah.
So they threw in a minor leaguer that is a nice.
Well, would it have cost you Painter? I guess if for Painter, would you have traded Painter to get Devers? Is the question.
I don't know if I equate Painter and Harrison.
Oh,
like Harrison came up.
One guy that wanted they ticketed in the rotation. So.
They brought him up, and he has not given you the feeling that he is someone that's sticky in a rotation right now at Major League Baseball. Like they already pushed him to long relief.
Okay, so if you would have had Mick Abel as your front guy in that deal, you would have gotten him?
Could you have? If you could have, that's something I would have explored. Again, you have to get the Harper health hurdle something to get to. But the idea the Giants the Red Sox hardly even shopped him around. If you heard he was disgruntled, is that not a phone call you place?
I don't know. We'll see how people feel about it. My first reaction was, would Harper go to the outfield in the middle of this season? Would they do that? They don't like to do stuff like that. All right.
But for Devers, again, we're not talking Otto Kemp. We're talking Devers.
I understand it. Slight Otto Kemp. How could you slight Otto Kemp?
How could I?
They got the solution already.
All right, my bad.
610-632-0975 is how you get in. The Phillies, are they back in your good graces right now as 4 games with the Marlins? Always tough Marlins. Stare them in the face. The Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Texting, calling. Let's hear from you. Back after this.
Ricky
All right, couple scenarios here that we're talking about. Both involve Bryce Harper moving to the outfield. Now, I don't think Major League teams move a guy in the middle of a season to a different position. I just don't think they want to do that. I think they're uncomfortable with it from the player standpoint, but also they don't know what they're going to get in the outfield from a guy who has not played the outfield for a couple of years. So here are the two scenarios. Otto Kemp playing first base for you. Give it a little energy to the lineup, right? He's giving you a little bit of energy, you got to admit. He plays first base. Bryce moves to, I don't know, pick your, you want to move him to left or you want to move him to right, Ray? What's the better spot for him at this point?
Oh, man. Let's move him to, well, he gets to pick, so I'll move him to right.
Move him to right.
Yeah.
So you're messing with three positions.
All right, left.
That's what I'm saying. If you move him, it would have to probably be left. It's the easiest position to play out there, and you don't move Castellanos. All right, you move him to left. Then, so if Kemp's, so then what do you do with Kepler?
Oh, won't see him no more.
So what? You release him?
No,
Will you trade him for something? Would you be
guess.
able to get anything for Kepler at this point?
Probably not.
Okay. How about one of your center fielders? Could you move any of those guys off your roster somehow?
You moving Marsh right now?
Would you drop Marsh to the minor leagues? You got to make a move. You got to make a roster move here.
Yeah,
all right?
I understand.
So does Marsh go to AAA?
I guess for now.
All right, here's the other scenario. Had you been in play for Devers, would you have been able to move either Marsh, Kepler, or Rojas for that spot in the deal?
Marsh, Kepler, or Rojas in the deal.
In the deal. Would Boston have taken any one of those three?
I'm venturing to say that there's too much out there on both Marsh and Rojas for them to take if they're just trying to get off of contracts in the offseason. Maybe Kepler goes in that deal, but it's hard to imagine a world where they take any three of those
Okay,
guys.
so what do you do with them?
Sending one of the center fielders down to the minor leagues, mostly.
Send one of them down to the minor leagues.
And probably Kepler ends up traded somewhere by the deadline.
Okay. You move Kepler somewhere.
I would assume. I mean, I don't think you're keeping this a bench bat, right?
In all these scenarios, Harper would have to be willing to move to the outfield.
Correct.
A, do you think he would be? B, do you think the Phillies would even risk it?
I would say no.
Both of those scenarios.
All right, so what are we talking about? We're talking about the same team now, unless they make a deal at the trade deadline for a right-handed power bat, and the common name is out there, Taylor Ward from the Angels, got 18 home runs. Could you get him for Abel? I guess you could.
Just don't look at the batting average. Whatever you do, just focus on the 18 home
What
runs.
is he hitting, like 218?
220-something.
All right, 220-something.
Yeah.
And he's got 18 bombs.
He's got 18 bombs.
But people get frustrated when people don't hit for average.
Correct.
Doesn't matter. Like, Kepler's had several really good at-bats lately. He's hit the ball hard a few times.
What's been the key, though, for this team over the last couple of days? What have we seen them bring home runs doing? Hitting the long ball.
Yes.
Just get me a guy that bashes. I'm sick and tired of this singles crap where they don't bring anyone in.
You're tired of the singles crap.
Yes.
Which leads me to some audio from yesterday's game, which I have screamed about for the last several years with this guy. Let's hear Tom McCarthy and a really monster home run yesterday.
All right, so Alec Boehm is 1 for 2. And a high fly ball to deep left field. The Phils will get the runs back. A long home run under the Licio sign. Alec Boehm has 3 RBIs.
That was like 425 feet or 440 foot, whatever it was. He hit a bomb. Why can't we expect more of that from him? It makes me nuts. Push the ball to the right side for a single. Push the ball to the right side to the single. Occasionally, jack. Pull the rock.
What was the last time you saw him swing the way he did right there?
Well, I saw him swinging a home run derby. Like, okay, there are times when you can push the ball to the right side. When you're 6'5" and have leverage, occasionally sit in and pull it.
Like right there.
Exactly. Why can't I expect more of that?
You need to expect more than that from one of those right-handed bats, especially in the interim before you actually make a move. I mean, I felt like we went down this rabbit hole 4 or 5 times last week of just the annoyance of lack of power from the right side. When you talk about JT, Casty, Bohm, they asked Turner to not be a power guy. They asked him, we want you to spray the ball everywhere. If you hit 300 and get on base at a 370 clip, that's good for us. All right, that's great. That means one of Bohm, Casty, it seems like a lot to ask 75-year-old JT Realmuto to do it. So it's going to have to be one of those two guys. That swing from Bohm, give me more of it.
Here's the dichotomy of the Phillies. They were built to slug, and yet all you hear from their staff is, we got to learn to use the whole field. And I'm like, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Well, they squandered too many at-bats by not using the whole field. But they were built to slug. So the guys that are 6'4", 6'5", with leverage, hit the ball to the right side all the time. And people go, well, small ball's good, Mike. The small ball good. You know what's good? Freaking home runs. That's good. 610-632-0975. I love these small ball people. We got to play small ball. Got to bunt. Got to advance runners. Yeah, every now and then you do that. You're slugging this game. Get to our text board after this. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies completed the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with an 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run, striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits. Alec Bohm, Nick Castellanos both homered in the win. The sweep has pulled the Phillies within 2.5 games of the Mets in the National League East. Instead of a 4-game series in Miami for the Phillies against the Marlins, it's Mick Abel tonight matching up with Sandy Alcantara on the mound this evening down there in Miami. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants in exchange for 4 players and a blockbuster. And it wasn't the only blockbuster in the sports world on Sunday. If you go to the NBA, you see the Memphis Grizzlies sent Desmond Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks. That all happening yesterday. Tonight, it's the NBA Finals. Game 5 of the NBA Finals out there in OKC with the Thunder and Pacers tied up at 2 games apiece, and you're able to listen to that right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. We all play a role in keeping roads safe. Watch for pedestrians, give 4 feet when passing, and slow down. Let's look out for each other. Safety is shared. Brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
10:28, Mike Missanelli Show. I'm looking for more offense with the Phillies. They did a nice job this weekend, 22-6 they outscored Jays. But I look at the run differentials around baseball, and the Phillies semi-paltry, only a plus 33 run differential. Now they're only 2.5 games behind the Mets, and the Mets have a plus 80 run differential. The Chicago Cubs have a plus 105 run differential. The Giants at plus 71. The Dodgers at plus 71, the Giants at plus 45, and that's probably going to go up now that Devers is there. So I would like to see them score a few more runs. So how do you do it? Well, you either got to wait for the deadline for them to bring in something that could play left field from the right side or give them a little right-handed pop. I don't know who that could be. Or you go, you know what, this Otto Kemp, he's giving us energy. Let him play first base for a while. We'll move Bryce to the outfield. It's not going to happen. It's not going to. Bryce Harper is not going to move to the outfield this year. I predict. Not going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen either. I know a lot of people though, still in this fan base, have pushed for it and are still looking for it. But the Otto Kemp thing to me, it's funny. I called him last week Weston Wilson Jr. And a couple people on Twitter got angry with me. Yeah. And this weekend reminds me of last July. I was out in Pittsburgh for that Pirates series. And I was there for the Friday night game, and Weston Wilson had a home run in that game. And I remember joking with the people I was with at the time, there it is, the right-handed side of the platoon. It's Weston Wilson for you. Forget going out and making a move. They still went out and got Austin Hayes. We all saw how that went.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this is, will people attach themselves to Otto Kemp is the answer to this problem? The way that I think some people did attach themselves to well, you can solve that in-house. Just go get the bullpen help, and this lineup will figure it out. I hope people don't. And I hope this more so. I hope this organization doesn't.
I actually am not hearing the same fervor for Otto Kemp.
I saw it after the game.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit. It's not as crazy as. Here's what I know about Philadelphia fans. They love their little underdogs. They just love their little underdogs. But I haven't heard the over the top for Kemp that I've heard in the past for other guys that they brought up and had temporary success.
They go down to Miami this week.
The David Dahl factor.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, listen. You can't make roster moves that'll impact David Dahl's status. All right.
Yeah.
I forget what move it was. They like David Dahl. They really like what they have here. Yeah. You can't mess that up. But they do go down to play a Miami team that we know stinks. There's a chance that Otto Kemp gets a couple
more knocks.
Cookies over the over the plate.
People go crazy. I don't judge people. I will admit that I have a prejudice against journeymen. I do. It's like you have to, like, you don't magically become a potent major league player if you're like a journeyman. It just doesn't happen. While you can have a temporary respite, you don't. It's not lasting. It's never lasting.
I don't even know if it's the journeyman thing. You have, I think, almost a DiCaprio factor when it comes to minor league baseball players. Once they get past 25, your interest in them dwindles significantly.
There's no question about it. Because if you get past 25 and you're in the minor leagues, you're not a major league player. You're just not. You'll have some moments, but you're never going to carry the torch as a major league player, as a consistent major league player. It just doesn't happen. Give me somebody it happened to, either Phillies or otherwise.
Like, that had a long, successful career.
Yeah, who came up late after being a journeyman and being tossed from organization to organization and became a sustainable major league player? I can't think of anybody. I certainly can't think of any Philly. Players have pedigrees to become really worthwhile, difference-making players, not journeymen.
And Kemp debuts this year after his 25th birthday. He was, I think, solely a Phillies organization guy, but like you said, he does.
He doesn't have a position.
That's the
guys like that don't have a position. Otherwise, they would be in the major leagues.
And to be a first baseman in this league, you need not as much as you have in the past, because pop is down across the board, and especially there. But you would expect a little bit more from what you get so far from him there.
He's a little guy. He's a littler guy, isn't he? At first baseman, you want a rangy guy. You don't want a little stubby guy.
I got a tease for you. What's coming up at 2?
What's that?
The king of the temps, Bill Colarulo's checked in.
Oh, Mr. Temp?
Yep. doing 4
He loves-
hours on why Otto Kemp should stay here at 2. The new dub.
Yeah, so Bill gets enamored with the guys that I don't.
Correct.
Bill's the type of Philly fan that gets enamored with the little underdogs. And I look at him like, listen, if you get a cup of coffee in the major leagues, that's more than I ever did or more than a lot of people ever did, and you should be proud that you rose to that ranks. But when we're talking about difference-making major leaguers that make a difference in whether you're going to win something, no, I'm not on board.
So one that just came up in the YouTube chat is one that came up to my mind of Chris Coast, but we're talking about difference makers. It's a backup catcher. He had nice moments for you, but he was backup catcher at Ruiz.
He
it wasn't like he was a 110-game catcher.
Right, he wasn't a difference maker. Come on. it just doesn't happen. It's a matter of time before you run out. You know? You can have a little run, but it's a matter of time before you regress back into what you were, which is a 4A player at best. And especially if you don't have a position.
And that's the toughest thing for him, I think, is the lack of position right now. If the guy could play left field, he would have been up here, I think, a lot sooner as the right-hand side of that platoon once you realize Weston Wilson wasn't that.
They can't even risk playing him in the outfield now. Have you noticed this? Like, you would think if Otto Kemp gave them some juice, like they would say, oh, well, maybe we can platoon him with Kepler out there and left. But they know they can't. So they're handcuffed on what they can do with the kid. He's going back to the minor leagues. That's where he's going. All right, what's the chat saying? What's the text board saying?
A chat board right now is upset at the Otto Kemp conversation.
Oh, okay.
Saying we're going overboard in the Otto Kemp thing.
Yeah,
there was a lot of people upset with the Devers line of thinking, and that's perfectly fine for me. I put that thought process out there because I thought a lot of this fan base was looking for some sort of a change, and you could talk yourself into, hey, this guy's already got a long-term contract. If he's going to be a designated hitter, could you have shuffled the pieces around this year? I know there's people in this fan base that wanted to see Harper move to the outfield. Clearly, it appears that this fan base had no interest, saw that trade yesterday, and didn't think twice about, wow, could the Phillies have done this? Because the YouTube chat, and it was just consistently, well, no, I don't want that. No, Devers overrated. I don't think we need this. So
Devers overrated?
We did get one of those in there. So
yeah, come on, man.
Apparently, I was the only one in Philadelphia yesterday that saw that trade go down and said, well, could you have shuffled the pieces around to make it work from the Phillies side?
It's a really good thought process. I don't know. Borowski, he's had experience with the Red Sox, so I'm sure he's got some ties. He could have made that happen. He decided not to make it happen.
Well, it doesn't seem like they really shopped him around.
Well, again, the payroll, that wouldn't work for the Phillies either.
Yeah, you'd have to move money back in that deal. Like the Hicks thing, I think ends up making it a lot more palatable for the Giants because they're paying him, and that has not worked out for them.
Yeah, let me just say for the record, Otto Kemp is no Matt Kemp, nor is he a Steve Kemp. You don't even know who Steve Kemp is. Steve Kemp was a slugging left-handed hitter who could hit some home runs. I think he was a really high draft pick, too, from college.
Steve Kemp was a
Tigers?
first overall pick.
First overall pick.
By
there
the
you
Tigers.
Go. There you go, Tigers. Steve Kemp. And Matt Kemp. So Otto takes as far as Kemps go, way down on the list.
I mean, that's still at least 3. We got to come up with enough Kemps to keep him off the Mount Rushmore.
I don't know of another Kemp. So it goes 1, 2, and then it drops way down for number 3 with Otto. Well, I don't mean to disrespect the kid. Good for the kid. But come on.
If we're going sports world, Sean Kemp on that Mount Rushmore.
Just love our little underdogs in this city. 610, go out, make a deal as an established player. 610-632-0975. We'll go to the text board after this.
Ricky Bo, Bill Collar.
Luzardo. But if this is just the pitcher he is now, well, my goodness, the rotation takes a major hit.
It's 10:41, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. The one and only on Father's Day painted a ceiling. That's what the one and only did. I get you think Father's Day you sit around, relax. The weather was nasty. So I painted.
You don't strike me as a sit around and relax type of guy.
No, I'm a sit around and relax guy. I am.
Really?
I got to get some stuff done, so I painted a ceiling. It just happened to coincide on Father's Day.
Are you going to get like a do-over? Going to go for a do-over? Try to get Father's Day extended to another time?
I don't know. What do you do on Father's Day? Your daughter does something for you, and then, I'm sure everybody had a nice Father's Day. I painted the ceiling.
We celebrated Saturday.
Oh, you did?
So I had to work.
What'd you do for Pop?
A little picking crabs, drinking beers, hanging
nice.
out, did a nice dinner.
Cracking crabs, did you?
Yeah. Good time.
Nice. That sounds like fun.
We made a nice tradition of doing that down the shore over the last couple of years.
Oh, did you actually go out and catch crabs?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Have you ever done that?
I have done that. Yeah, we've been crabbing a number of times.
Oh, that's fun.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, crabbing's fun.
Now, are you more the trap or are you more the line?
No, I'm a line man.
You like to like
I
the
like
little
to
bit of active deceit?
Yeah, I make it a sport.
It is fun.
Yeah, when you pull them up, and then they know they're done when they see the daylight, and so you got to get that net. Got to be a good scooper.
I like the you said the sport of it, but kind of just the feeling of anticipation of can I pull this off?
Yeah,
the trap is just
very slowly, very slowly, very slowly. Here you go, scoop.
Don't let
that do it.
Don't let the net have the shadow over the crab.
That's correct. You got to be stealth
from the outside in.
You got to
work
stealth.
outside.
There you go. You got to be stealth with the net. They can't see that net. They got big eyes. Those crabs. All right, let's get back to the text board, see what people are saying about this this changeover now. First base, Bryce Harper to left field. What do you think, Greg? What's it saying?
Well, the chat board's coming back with a lot of conversations about guys who debuted or who were late risers, like showed up late to the big leagues.
Late risers.
The one thing here that continues to pop out to all of them, and I think they're taking exception with my comment of once they get to 25 and debut, you're not interested in.
No.
If you look back at the names they've given us, Ming in here with Jorge Posada, Jeff Kent, Edwin Encarnacion, Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, David Ortiz. There are examples of guys who saw a change of scenery and things work for them. I just went through the first, I think, 4 of those names, and I haven't yet gotten to the end of that list. All of them debuted before they were 25.
Yeah,
like that
change of scenery. I'm not talking about change of scenery. I'm talking about guys that are in the minor leagues for a really long time. And don't have a position.
Even people have brought up Ryan Howard. He's a guy that did debut before he was 25. Now, it took them too long to give him a full-time position. Obviously, Tommy was here. He blocked that. But he'd still debuted before he was 25.
Yeah, he had a position and he had a role. He was the power hitter that was being cultivated in the minor leagues. We're not talking – it's not the same type of player we're talking about here. We're talking about an average player who's been a journeyman, who's slopped around in the minor leagues and got a break and has contributed for a temporary basis. That's what. This is what's going to happen with Otto Kemp. I don't mean him any ill will, but he's not one of those players that also is going to find it and be a potent major league player.
And the question turns again to what you said. If you guys are so pro Otto Kemp on this one, are you sticking him at first base as your first baseman and moving Harper out there to the outfield?
But it goes back to the premise. How we love our little underdogs here in this town. What is it about this town that makes you love the little underdog? Because you relate to him? Because you feel that you're a little underdog living in Philadelphia? Like, what is it exactly?
I mean, I'm a sucker for a good story. That's really what it comes down to. The Otto Kemp thing's nice. He wasn't a prospect on people's radar. It's a nice story.
I got no time for nice stories. I don't. When I'm trying to win something, I got no time. You know, if it'd be a nice story, if the Phillies were like a building team, they're not ready to win, and then it's a good story because you got nothing else. The main theme, the main storyline of this year is to win something. I can't get bogged down with the good stories of a minor league kid with a nice mustache who went to Cal Poly Nazarene or whatever the hell he went, or Point Loma Nazarene, and all of a sudden he got 4 hits yesterday.
If he homers tonight, do I shave to the mustache tomorrow?
I will bet you a $1. I owe you $2. I'll bet you the $2 that I owe you that he doesn't homer.
So you'll bet that he doesn't homer,
yeah,
and I'm offering to shave into a mustache if he does.
Okay. All right, you have that.
Yeah,
if he does, you shave into a mustache.
I shave into one day though. I'm not going much longer.
And I'll add $2 to it. How's that?
Even better. Well, it works for me.
All right. What else we got on the text board?
We got some people checking into your conversation about Bohm earlier. You're absolutely right, Mike. But Kyle is the only player who is really a home run threat every game or at bat. Everyone else is not good enough home run hitters like we had on the 08 team.
I get it, but that doesn't mean that a guy can't hit home runs. Alec Bohm can hit home runs. He's got enough leverage. He's big enough to be able to pull the ball occasionally. Like 50% of the time, I think he should be thinking pull, get the ball in the air. I get it. You like your batting average, and you want to, but everything he does is to push the ball to the right side. Occasionally, a guy is going to jack you inside with a fastball. Be ready for it and pull side it. All right. Let's go to the phones. We'll go to Greg in Bethlehem to start things off. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Greg.
Gentlemen, good morning. It's a question I have about underdogs. Philadelphia fans seem to gravitate to the underdogs, and I'm included with that. But and I don't understand it. I guess it's a good
well, you tell me why you do it. Tell me why you do it so we can maybe understand it. What is it about it? You look at under-talented guys. It's always with an under-talented guy, too. This guy, look at him. He's a hard worker. He's blah, blah, blah. He's under-talented. He's a minor leaguer for a reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy to root for somebody early on. I mean, how many games has Kemp been up?
What's he played? Like 8 already? Like 8 or 9
Is
or
it that
10
many
or
games?
something like that.
I didn't think it was that many. But,
Yeah, it's got to be like 8.
All right. Well, I mean, his trajectory is going up, but I had called about Alec Boehm.
Okay, go ahead.
In order to pull the ball, you got to hit it out front, and at least I think so. Do you think it has anything to do with pitch recognition that?
He's programmed in his head to hit the ball the other way. You can just tell. His every swing, he gets his hands way inside the ball so he can push it to the right side and hit it hard that way, which is fine. If you're but he's also 6'5" with leverage. You saw the way he stroked in the home run derby. He should be hitting more home runs.
Well, I agree. I mean, he was hitting batting practice home runs. I just think one explanation could be that there's a slight delay in recognizing the pitch, so he's letting the ball get deep and going to the right side.
He's programmed to let the ball get deep all the time. Every at bat, he is programmed in his head to let the ball get deep and get his hands inside the ball to push it to the right side.
Do you think he's turned the corner now?
No, I don't think he turned the corner. He hit a monster home run yesterday. See, that's the type of thing. Like, he doesn't even he gets the ball in the air, he can hit home runs because of his leverage. Like, he's not he's not Schwarber powerful, but he should be able to hit home runs to left field at this ballpark.
Right. Well, he hit 2 in the last week to the left field.
Yes, he did. Yes. So turn on the ball a little more. Turn on the ball. Your mindset should be, okay, I like hitting the ball to the right side, but if there's a pitch I can turn on, I'm going to turn on it. Now, he doesn't have that second mentality in him.
No. Well, hopefully he's changed his mind. I don't know. I'm rooting for him.
Oh, I'm sure you are rooting for him, and you're rooting for Otto Kemp because, we love these little underdogs. Okay. Did you see on his bat he's got okay?
Oh, I get it.
You didn't see his knob?
No, I did not see.
His knob has okay on it.
Oh, good for him.
There you go. 610. See, I noticed these little things. How come nobody else notices those things? I noticed Rojas's belt. I noticed what's on the knob. Means I'm a weirdo. 610-632-0975 back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies complete the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with an 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned and striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits. Alec Boehm and Nick Castellanos both homered in the win. The sweep has pulled the Phillies within 2.5 games of the Mets. Ahead of a 4-game series for the Phillies. Has pulled them within 2.5 games of the Mets, who are ahead of them in the National League East. And this all comes ahead of a 4-game series in Miami against the Marlins. It's Mick Abel matching up with Sandy Alcantara on the mound tonight down there in Miami. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox trade Rafael Devers to the Giants in exchange for 4 players. It was the only blockbuster in the sports world on Sunday, as the NBA saw the Memphis Grizzlies send Desmond Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks, as well as a pick swap. Game 5 of the NBA Finals is tonight between the Pacers and Thunder in OKC, as those 2 teams each looking to get an edge, as the series right now tied at 2 games apiece. You'll be able to listen to the game live right here on The Fanatic. And the Union won over the weekend 2-1 over Charlotte FC. It's Marcus Anderson with the game-winning goal for the Union. This update is brought to you by Erie Insurance, celebrating 100 years of protecting your family's most priceless moments. Then, now, always Erie Insurance. ErieInsurance.com. That's ErieInsurance.com. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5TheFanatic.com.
10:57, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, Phils are at a 4-game series with the Marlins. They started tonight at Lone Depot Park. Abel Alcantara, what do you think the line on this game is tonight, Ray?
Phils minus 110.
Minus 115.
Wow.
That's a Marlins line.
Is it?
Yes. It's a Marlins line. The Marlins are minus 105.
Oh.
What is going on with this line tonight?
Phils are still more favored than that, minus 115.
Well, yeah, but that's slight. They're a slight fave tonight.
There's right now in Miami, they think they figured out the whole Alcantara thing. That he's.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm betting it.
Bet the Marlins?
Yep.
Oh.
I'm going to bet the Marlins tonight. That line's screaming at me.
Is it?
Screaming at me. Yes, it's screaming at me. That team stinks.
Former Cy Young versus guy who didn't get out of 4 innings.
Yeah, I get it, but, listen, minus 115 is saying, beware. Beware.
Are you not saying beware going into tonight with the pitcher on the other side?
I wasn't saying beware. I thought Abel's going to be fine against this team, and I look at the line, and now I'm trying to change my mind. So they may not sweep 4. They may lose and then sweep 3.
I mean, 3. I think I said 3 or 4 when we did the whole. Well,
you did say 3 or 4.
I never expect a sweep.
Yeah, by rights they should sweep this team. This team stinks.
Yes, and just to get us excited for this weekend.
I hate stinky teams in baseball. Hate them. Got no respect for them.
Yeah, this is a series where I think you watch tonight and you watch tomorrow night, and by the time Wednesday comes, you're like, what am I looking for streaming?
The people that are in charge of lousy teams have to be the most incompetent executives ever. It's impossible to have teams that are as bad as the Marlins or the Colorado Rockies or whoever. You go down the line. Can you? You gotta don't you know who can play, who can't? It's not that difficult.
Yeah, I think the Marlins have fallen to the case of there's been bad management, but there's also been poor investment from up top.
Yeah.
Like some of these teams, I'd like to think if you run a baseball team, you got a decent idea of talent.
Uh-huh.
And these owners are like, we're not going to pay that guy. And then you're forced to, all right, well, we have to ship this guy off. And you just continually get bad. Like you're good once and then you're bad for 5 years. Then you start to figure it out. It's like, all right, well, all the guys that you finally figured it out with are all coming up on paydays and you're shipping them all out again. Like they made the playoffs, 23 where the Phillies knock them out?
Uh-huh.
And how many of those 26 guys are left there? Like 2?
Yep.
Because they're not going to pay all of them.
I hear you.
A little bit bigger than just the management there. Though they have cycled through management there, which has also been a problem for Miami.
All right. We're going to talk about Bryce Harper's responsibility as a teammate in a second. But I can tell you that it's 11 o'clock and you're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on WPN HD1. Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Okay, so in a couple of scenarios, you would have had to ask Bryce Harper to move to the outfield to better this team. If you don't make a deal, you can either look at whether you should have gone after Devers or whether you can still play Otto Kemp at first base and lessen your restrictions in the outfield by putting Bryce Harper in one of those positions out there. So let me ask you this. Would the Phillies be out of line by asking Bryce Harper to do that? And if you're Bryce Harper, should you be receptive to that? That's the question.
They can ask him.
Okay. Would it be fair to ask him to do that? Major league team now, you've established him as your first baseman. Would it be fair to ask him? Because if you ask him, you're putting him on the spot.
Yeah, you're absolutely putting him on the spot. But I think these I think we're naive to believe these conversations don't happen consistently about what they're going on. Like, I do think that the conversation's been had with Trey Turner before about his future at shortstop. And I don't think that that's something that has been receptive of moving him. Like, I think that's a conversation that's already been had. It's hard for me to believe that they've sat there with all the people they pay on salary to look at advanced numbers and that they're like, yeah, this is our best defensive alignment with this guy playing shortstop for us. So I bet they're going to sit down with Harper before the deadline and say, hey, really, what do you think of this? I truly don't think that he wants to move from first base. I think if he were to move from first base, they would have had a different offseason.
So would he be out of line saying, no, I don't want to move from first base? Because they just broiled Devers in Boston, right? If you ask Bryce Harper and he says his reaction is, wait a minute, who's got more clout in this organization? Wait, all of a sudden I got to defer to Devers? Like, would he be out of line saying that? Or would he say, you know what, whatever helps the team?
He's not out of line to say what he prefers. And if what he prefers is the way this organization goes, then we have to deal with the fact that that's the case. But if you're looking at what would be best for this team, and they think a first baseman, someone that could play first base is what's best for this team, then we deserve to criticize him for the fact he wouldn't move to the outfield.
Let's create a scenario here. Dave Dombrowski knows what's going on around the league. He knows that the Boston Red Sox are really disgruntled with Devers, and there is a chance that they could move him. So do you think that Dombrowski should have gone to Bryce Harper or did go to Bryce Harper and say, listen, Bryce, how would you feel like if I can get Devers here, what would you move to left field?
Oh, I think that's a conversation you should have.
It's a conversation you should have.
Yes.
And if you have it, is Bryce Harper the heavy for saying, no, I don't really want to do that?
Yeah. I mean, in that case.
He is. He is the heavy? Well, but you're saying he has earned the right to name his position.
Bryce has earned the right to name his position. If the team does not get better due to the fact that he does not want to move wherever they could move him to maximize the team, then he deserves the criticism that comes to him.
So you're saying if they had gone to him, say, we can get Devers, can you move to the outfield? And he said, no, he's a bad guy.
And say he's a bad guy. Say
no. He's the bad guy. Yeah. Not a bad guy, but he's the bad guy.
In that scenario, yeah, he would be if they don't end up improving this team because he was reluctant to move, that ends up being on him.
All right, let's go back to the text board. We got some Devers texts. What are they saying about Devers?
We got our guy Mike from Cosby's checking in. They could have done a better deal than San Fran. Tibbs is a decent prospect, but Hicks and Harrison stink. I would have threw Bowman the deal. Now you upgrade your lineup immensely and upgrade power. By the way, Devers can hit lefties as well. Money would be a little more. Devers is young. Boston handled it stupid.
You're throwing Bowman in the deal.
Throwing in Bowman the deal there.
Yeah, well, so Bowman would have, played first base?
I guess for them out there in Boston. That's a Red Sox problem.
Okay. So who then would have played third base here?
Devers.
Devers would have been your third baseman.
Right.
Okay.
In that scenario, Devers becomes your third baseman.
All right, what else you got?
I would rather get a center fielder and 2 relievers for the same salary Devers makes. This team isn't one player away.
Well, he'd really help your offense, though. You already have a great starting pitching staff, right? He would help your offense. Would that run differential increase? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. You'd have some pop.
And a simply put one from Joe in Boston. Leave Bryce at first. Nothing more, nothing less to that text.
Well, come on. You got to say why. You just can't say leave Bryce at first. You got to say leave Bryce at first. Why?
We also have a couple texters taking on the Kemp thing here. And John from Hazleton here saying, I would take Kemp over Rojas and Marsh any day of the week. Which offensively, sure, right now you could say.
Slow down. Just slow down on that. All right? Again, there's nothing that unnerves me more. I had to put up with Bill Colarulo for weeks with this dub thing. Let's go back to the phones. Reggie is checking in from he's in PA? Reggie, you in PA?
I am about 5 miles from Dorney Park.
Look at you in the home state all of a sudden. What are you doing?
Yeah, I brought a load from Las Vegas. I think it's Clorox or Lysol wipes, something like that.
Lysol wipes?
Okay.
To Dorney Park?
Yeah, well, these warehouses just down the road from give or take 5 miles from Dorney Park.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
Yeah. So, 2 things. When Greg, I didn't hear his theme music. Did he hear it?
No. We stopped playing the theme music now. You know, we can't play it. We can't play it every single time now. You know.
Oh, okay.
We're just trying to get to the call.
All right, but I'm in the number 2 spot today, right?
You're in the number 2 spot. Is correct. Yes.
Ooh. Okay. Now, when I started listening, you were talking about the 40-year-old quarterback. No. I made a reference to the Scott Bakula and Sinbad movie. I think it was called Necessary Roughness.
Yes.
He's a 40-year-old
Yeah.
quarterback. So
Yeah.
you're talking about a player that has been in the minor leagues and is now over 25 or is approaching 25. I didn't
Over
get that part.
25. Over 25.
So that's almost the baseball equivalent of a 40-year-old quarterback, right?
Not quite. I mean, at 25, you still got a lot of mileage left in you. A 40-year-old quarterback doesn't, but I hear where you're going. To me, it indicates you're a journeyman without a position when you're that old and you're in a minor league, and then all of a sudden you come up.
Well, journeyman would be the almost equivalent then, because, like you said, no position, so no idea what to do with him if there's no position.
Yeah, listen, he's under 6 foot, and he's not going to hit home runs, and he doesn't project as a first baseman really.
Hmm.
So I don't know what is he.
Well, yeah, I don't have anything, but I heard Ray was with family yesterday for Father's Day.
Yeah, he was.
And they had a beer or three with Dad.
Did you have a couple beers with Dad?
A couple of them.
Yeah, had a couple of
them. Nice. Yeah, unfortunately, my father passed away when I was a teenager, way long time ago. But I got 4 sons, so my sons, my 2 brothers, and other relatives, wished me Happy Father's Day yesterday, and I returned the favor, and Happy Father's Day to you as well. We keep doing every day, but you didn't get no tie and socks combo, did you?
No, I didn't get a tie and socks combo.
They grab it off the clearance rack coming out of the department store.
yeah, sold as a package. Cologne is also that's a go-to for a lot of people. Get the cologne for Dad. Dad wearing cologne seems weird. 610-632-0975, Mike Missanelli Show. We'll have some Eagles chat a little later, and how much money would they have to pay Jalen Carter, and do we care about it? And I'm going to tell you why I care about it. The Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.
ESPN's Adam
Mike Missanelli Show. You know, it's bad enough that for 9 months I had to put up with Bill Colarulo's nonsense here. And his inane baseball analysis. Now I got to put up with it by text. So here's his latest text to me, which you're going to hear a lot of at 2 o'clock, I assume. Otto stays. Wilson goes down. Kemp is your right-handed bat off the bench and will have to play left field. I feel like Art Howe in Moneyball. Scott Hatteberg can't play first base. Well, how do you know? Not my first rodeo. Otto Kemp cannot play left field. If he could, they would have played him in the minor leagues in left field. They played him one game out there, and they said, you know what, this is not good. You can't stick a guy in left field in the major leagues when he hasn't played it ever. He's an infielder.
Ike, they've done it now multiple times with guys who aren't left fielders.
He says, well, WW can't play left field either. Not that much different. Well, WW's not playing left field anymore. They wised up.
I'm just saying, if it happens, you know what you're opening yourself up to. They've tried it. You're going to have to listen to him.
Would you please stop disrespecting baseball, Colarulo? You constantly disrespect the game of baseball by making it beer league softball. Yeah, throw that guy out there. Why not? Throw him out there. He can catch a fly ball.
When they inevitably try it, you're going to have to deal with him.
Bill, oh my God.
You were right all along.
No, I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. I can't stand how people love the little underdogs, and I can't stand people who think baseball is such an easy game that you could just take one guy and throw him out there when he's never played the position ever and do it in the major leagues. Stop disrespecting the game.
And I'm telling you, Mike, you have to wait for the scenario where it might just happen, where they throw him out there.
It's not going to happen. Otto Kemp is going back down to the minor leagues. Okay?
You really are that set that they're not going to end up sending down Weston Wilson instead?
He might. I don't know. What's the difference? Well, like if you can't play Otto Kemp in left field. You can't. You just can't.
And we can argue after watching Weston Wilson, you can't play him in left field either.
Weston Wilson had a little more experience playing left field. This guy's played one game. They threw him out there for one game in the minor leagues.
I'm not saying that it's a great solution. I'm just saying they're going to try and brainstorm any way they can if he's a productive hitter to keep him here.
Scott Hatteberg can't play first base.
And where did they play him in that that team?
They didn't play him. They pinch hit for him. You know, they had. It's funny because that whole theme was that Scott Hatteberg was going to be the first baseman. They wound up playing Mabry there. Yeah, John Mabry played there.
It's one of the number of things in that movie that just kind of get glossed over.
Oh, yeah. They never played him at first base.
Like the fact that they had the pitching staff they had. We never heard a thing about that.
No, they had Miguel Tejada.
That also helped.
Much about that either. But, yeah, I get
it. Moneyball.
Yeah.
Still a great movie.
All right. Let me throw this out there. We're talking Phillies. First of all, we have another bamboo storyline. I can't take another bamboo storyline. I can't take it.
I'm going to buy the plant, man. I need to turn my life around. Get me some bamboo.
Well, who was the guy's name with the bamboo?
Brad Miller.
Brad Miller.
Bamboo Brad.
God, please. Like, I'm not aggravated enough that you're like this underdog mentality and that he can play left field. Now I got to throw a bamboo subplot in here. They got a resuscitated bamboo plant, and that's why they're winning now.
I'm just curious. You were a beat writer. Any of these outside the line stories, were they just the bane of your existence?
I hated them. I hated little stories like that. They brought the bamboo in, and that's why they got a winning streak. I don't go for any of that stuff.
And that's the difference between me and you. I see the bamboo. I'm thrilled.
And it's not only that; it brings Kevin Long's wife now is like bring it into the plot. It was her that resuscitated the plan to bring it back to him.
If the Phillies had fired Kevin Long, his wife would have never taken the bamboo plant out of that office, and they never went on the losing streak. Folks, 610.
I'm beat up with these subplot stories today.
How could you be
Alrighty.
anti-bamboo?
I'm not anti-bamboo. I have bamboo that's intruded into my yard. First of all, I hate it. I don't hate it in a little plant, but bamboo like lives on water, doesn't it? It doesn't live doesn't bamboo sit on a bed of water and that's how it grows?
All I just heard was you say, I'm not anti-bamboo. I just hate it.
No, I hate the intrusion of bamboo in the yard, but I don't hate a bamboo plant.
So the bamboo plant doesn't remind you of the
Have you
yard.
ever experienced bamboo with growing in your yard?
I've only experienced, it grew outside of the neighborhood in which I grew up.
It's insane the way it invades.
It's not native.
And that's just why I hate it.
I'm sorry. I just enjoy this story. I think this is this is fun. You know,
That's
hey,
a
a little
cute
superstition
story.
inside.
We got Otto Kemp, we got bamboo, we got everything but a certainty that the Phillies are good enough to get to the freaking World Series. That's what we got.
It's a marathon, Mike. I'm going to enjoy every mile.
I know. I'll tell you what. Here's a great idea. Let's acquire a player who can play left field. Let's acquire a bullpen piece. How about we do that? Stick the bamboo up your keister. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies completed the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with an 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits. Alec Boehm and Nick Castellanos both homered in the win. The sweep has pulled the Phillies within 2.5 games of the Mets as the Phillies now head down to Miami for a 4-game set against the Marlins. It's Mick Abel matchup with Sandy Alcantara on the mound tonight in Miami. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants in exchange for 4 players. It was not the only blockbuster in the sports world on Sunday, as the NBA saw the Memphis Grizzlies send Desmond Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, and a pick swap. Elsewhere in the NBA, hey, Game 5 of the NBA Finals, that's tonight. Knotted up at 2 games apiece. Thunder, Pacers from Oklahoma City tonight. You can listen to the game right here on The Fanatic. And the Union won 2-1 over Charlotte FC on Saturday. Marcus Anderson had the game winner for the Union. This update's brought to you by ExpressPros.com. Tired of feeling alone in your job search? With just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. That connection is Express Employment Professionals. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Ray Donner, your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Can play left field. More of that at 2 o'clock today with Bill Colarulo. I can't listen to him today. I'll go out of my freaking mind if I listen to him today.
Oh, don't worry. He'll be here probably in 10 minutes. You'll get to hear the preview of it.
Yeah, well, maybe he can come in. And I'll tell you what, when he comes in, we'll get him in here. We'll have a little mini debate on Otto Kemp.
His great return. His grand return to the Mike Missanelli show.
Yeah, we'll have a little mini session on why, like, it wasn't enough that he saw the Weston Wilson experiment fail. That wasn't enough for him to learn. Now he's on the okay. Actually, don't you think that they should switch songs with Bryson Stott now?
I was waiting for that suggestion.
Huh?
I don't think you can.
Oh, you can't switch songs?
No, I don't think you can.
But you can switch positions. You can't switch songs.
Correct. Yes, they can drive in left field, but so help me if they take A-OK from Bryson Stott.
Oh, my God. Stop with the A-OK with Bryson Stott. Bryson, change that up, too. I'm all for change, man, when stuff isn't working. Marsh, clip. A little trim job. Cut the hair a little bit. Forget the wetness. Stotty. Now, listen, he's seeing a lot of pitches, but he's missing a lot of fastballs. Have you noticed this?
He can't keep up to them.
Yeah, he misses a lot of fastballs.
That's the biggest thing for him. And I had this number a couple weeks ago. I haven't looked at it in probably a week and a half here. But him in the 7th inning or later, when you're really getting the fireballers, when you're really going into the bullpen, he's hitting under 200.
He is. He's extending that bat. He's like 8-pitch at bats. That's well and good. He'll foul a couple off, but he's getting beat on fastballs
consistently.
Yeah,
and that's like the best he could do is foul them off and stay alive. He has just not shown you a consistent ability to hit those fastballs, and it's tough to watch because you see him dial it up. Anything above 95, I get worried about him being able to keep up to it.
All right, you got the Phillies tonight, starting a 4-game series. Oh, boy, I don't like the line on it, but anyway, they outscored the Blue Jays 22-6. They had a really good 6 games schedule when they took the Cubs, and they took 2 or 3 from the Cubs. They sweep the Jays at 5-1 on this homestand, and their starters have been lights out. I mean, Wheeler yesterday, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 9 Ks. No walks. Sanchez the day before, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 5 Ks, no walks. Friday, Rangers, 7-4-0-5, no walks. Luzardo, no walks in 6 innings. I mean, this is as good as it can get. So we're just waiting to see how their offense can be improved in left field or center field and whether their bullpen can be improved. It is up to Dave Dombrowski right now. And a major deal happened yesterday with Rafael Devers going to the San Francisco Giants. Ironically, the Phillies are going head-to-head with the Giants in the playoffs. If the season were to end now, that would be your first-round playoff. So 610-632-0975. Let me switch gears a little bit here. I was reading a story about how much Jalen Carter is going to be worth in the extension. Now, they're going to have to extend them. Defensive tackles are getting paid beyond belief right now. And Jalen Carter is probably going to be worth $35 to $40 million a year. Now, I'm going to take this even further. People say all the time, well, what do you care how much he's making? It's not your money. But the bottom line is it is your money. Because the money that is paying these exorbitant salaries is coming out of your pocket. I got a list of, you know how much it is for an average Eagles ticket right now in the first deck?
Oh, I haven't even looked at first deck in years.
First deck Eagle
500.
No, it's less than that, but it's still a lot of money. It's like $250.
Oh God!
You know, and if you look around other sports, you'll find the same type of thing. It's like Philly's first deck is going to cost you what, $130?
Yeah,
in the 100 level.
I think closer to the plate, you get a 130.
Okay.
I've been in the outfield for cheaper.
All right. Yeah, I'm talking about the seat behind the good seat. And where where was I looking at also? Well, the NBA is like the first deck for Sixers tickets is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So as the revenues go up, the league revenue, it's a reflection of league revenue, salary cap, and the whole bit. it's coming out of your pocket. And I have great empathy for the little man. Now, most people are watching it on TV. It doesn't affect them, except it does affect them when they're buying products and memorabilia and all that kind of stuff. But to actually go to a game now, if Jalen Carter is going to get $40 million, guess who's paying for that? You, my friend. Do we have any sympathy for that?
I have sympathy for it. I don't have a solution for it. If you're looking for me to give you the correct answer to this one, you're not just paying for it in the seat, you're paying for it at home.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, and you mentioned the NBA and you mentioned Major League Baseball. Just look at the different services you might have to watch the games you want. I think every time we get a Friday night, and I hate to break it to you all, Friday night, get ahead of it now. Your relatives that do not know how to get Apple TV on the television, go over tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, teach them. Because Friday night, Apple TV game. And you're paying for that. And like the number of different services these games end up on. Amazon Prime, we're talking about football. Like all these different places to watch the games you want to watch. You're not just paying for it in the seats. You're paying for it. You mentioned the merchandise, but you're also paying for it in all these different deals they end up getting. Like these different television streaming service deals are the reason why these caps continue to go up. These guys continue to get paid more, and you continue to pay more to watch.
It's a never-ending cycle because you go, okay, well, league revenues are up. Well, why league revenues up? League revenues are up because people are paying the price for that.
Right.
Right? So it's always going to go up.
So when you say that you're bothered by it, you're more bothered by just the fact that we're all going to pay more, not so much him getting the money he's going to get.
No, I'm bothered by the fan having to pay for it. Because our initial reaction is, well, we care he makes $40 million. He's a great player, and it's not our money, but it is your money.
See, that's kind of where you lose me on this one because I'm not so upset about him getting paid what he's worth in the National Football League.
No, that's what he's worth, but guess why he's worth that? Because Jane and Joe are going to pay for it.
Oh, I understand that.
That's what, I got sympathy for the little man.
I'm not pitting player against fan base here. This is more fan base versus NFL, fan base versus ownership than it is fan base versus player. Like that player is getting what he's worth of the organization that he's a part of.
I just wish that salaries would be lowered in professional sports to help the people out, to help people afford the ticket. That's what I wish. Like if I was commissioner of the world, I would that would be a presidential order that I'd put down.
I get, like, again, I come back to, okay, the team is going to maximize the profits they get off of whatever they're having. They clearly see the value in having Jalen Carter because their team's better, more people show up, and the people are more interested in, like, the people are going to buy the jersey, people are going to show up for the game if their team is better. Jalen Carter is a player that contributes to being better. They're going to raise the prices in order to have the services of that player. I
understand it. And people go, well, we got to have these great players to win a championship, so we don't mind paying. Okay. But you do mind paying. At the end of the day, you do mind paying. It's hard for people to pay for those tickets.
Oh, and trust me, I know. We have this conversation every day about why I'm sitting.
That's why you sit in the 600 level at Sixers games.
Correct. I have a lot of sympathy for that.
There's a seat. They just put a seat up there on the rafter where you have to balance yourself, but it's cheap.
It is cheap, and I would sit there if it existed. You think I'm thrilled that Paul George is making $50 million and I'm sitting all the way up there for as much as I'm paying?
It just hits me like I'm reading the story about, Jalen Carter's worth is going to be worth like $40 million now. He's the best tackle in the year. Yeah, he is. And guess what? That means you're going to have to pay like $100 for parking.
Yeah, and
next time.
I get it, and I sympathize with the people that have to pay for it. I just don't necessarily see it as the market of Jalen Carter getting that money.
I get it. I don't want to pick on Jalen Carter. I'm just using that as an example on what triggers down the line for people.
Right. Yeah, fill in the blank player. It's not. I don't think it's a Jalen Carter conversation. More of a market of the league.
That's what the going rate is. He's got to. He's going to get paid that. But guess what? It's coming out of your pocket. One text on the underdogs. And a text on an outfield position change. Let's hit that before we get into our break here. Give me a text on the underdog. We just love our little underdogs here in Philadelphia. We love it. It's the T.J. McConnell principle. Yeah, Go ahead. What do we got?
We got a thesis here. Mike, the reason this city loves an underdog is pretty simple. Most of our glorified heroes have been underdogs or players who otherwise defied conventions of the time, whereas the majority of players and coaches who arrive with fanfare and expectations tend to disappoint unless or until those same underdogs help elevate them.
Wait. Who are we talking about?
We're going to get to examples here.
Okay.
Foles, Kelsey as a 6th-round pick, Peterson, Sirianni, Allen Iverson, Jamie Moyer, etc. All men who overachieved and embraced the city.
Allen Iverson was the first pick in the frickin' draft.
Yeah, that's tough.
What are you talking about?
That was a tough name.
Peterson? What?
Tough name to throw in that group.
Two guys, Foles and Kelsey is a late round draft pick. That's it. What?
We're not done the text. Don't worry.
All right.
Meanwhile, when you have players and coaches who arrive here with hype and natural talent and flame out, Wentz, Embiid, Chip Kelly, Carter Hart, Brizgalov, Lindros, Marsh, in the sense of what was given up to get him, Turner up until recently, T.O., etc. That said, I'm with you on Kemp, but I'd love to be wrong. This city is just looking for a spark to get behind when this will they, won't they season.
Oh, okay. So, like, we'll throw Utley in there as a star player. We're going to throw Jimmy Rollins in there as a star player. We're going to throw Ryan Howard in there as a star player. Star players win, not underdogs. Underdogs support. Good God, I wish we recognized real talent in this city. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. I want to know how much a regular like I'm looking at an average price on a ticket. So it's like in the lower level for a is this right for $4.90 is a lower level price ticket, 100 level ticket for the Eagles? Does that sound right?
I'll go start looking. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And this might come across as a violation to a lot of people. I don't know if I've been to an Eagles game post-pandemic. I mean, the last, 3 years I've been working here and working surrounding either pregame, postgame duties, so I didn't really have the time to go to games. Looking at the prices for games consistently gives me the whole, you know what, on my couch, I'm probably going to see more and have more to offer the next day than being there. As much as I loved being in that environment and cheering with everyone else, it's just so expensive.
I'm looking at an average. This looks like an average. Like it's 125 for Phillies games, lower level, average. 100 level for Eagles games, $4.90. And 175 for Sixers. Average. First level.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the opener.
It can't be that much. $4.90 for an Eagles ticket, right? 100 level?
That's face value you're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, that
$4.90?
Yeah, it kind of feels that way because that's the cheapest I'm finding right now on SeatGeek.
$4.90.
Eagles, single game.
See, is that not carried away? What is it, $50 a park also?
It's not cheap. There we go. Single game. I don't even know why I clicked on the Cowboys game, buying a ticket for the Cowboys game. Those already have to be
What is it? Regular season, regular price.
I'm going to Rams here because I figure there might still be something left. Standing room is 200. Give me to the 100s. All right. Let's say 107. So you're in the corner. Not quite.
In the corner. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cheapest in 107 was almost 600 a ticket.
600. So the regular ticket price has to be close to like $4.90.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
or $4.50, somewhere in there.
You got 300 something
Face
going up
value
to 200 seats.
Face value ticket, probably $4.50. Okay. Well, see, that's a lot of money, man. A lot of money. And it's only going to go up. Revenues go up all the time. League revenues up. Pay more for the player. Guess who's getting the tab? Y'all.
Again, I just don't see it as the player problem on this one.
Am I blaming the player?
No.
I'm not blaming the player. I'm blaming the price of doing business right now for regular people. That's all I'm blaming. And that's why I say I would hold the salaries at a certain level just to give people a break. That would have to be an executive order that Congress would have to pass. Salary cap on athletic events.
A ticket cap or a salary cap?
See, you couldn't change it now because you'd have to shut down the game to get some kind of a salary cap in there to be lower than what they're doing now.
Right.
You have to shut down the game. You have to go on strike to get that.
Yeah, they're never agreeing to that.
It's not going to happen. Prices are going to go up. I wonder when you get priced out of going to a game. Like the people now, I know so many Eagle fans who are stressed out about their ticket prices to go to the Eagles games. Because Eagle fans are salt of the earth people for the most part. And this is their luxury. This is what they do. They want to buy the Eagles tickets. They want to be part of that whole scene. And it kills them in the pocketbook.
Yeah. I mean, it's a massive investment to make year in and year out.
It really is. I was just trying to give the people a break. The people that are really passionate about the Eagles, the people that are just trying to do it on a regular salary, give them a break. I don't know how you do it, but give them a break. Maybe Mr. Owner can subsidize them.
Sure.
You know, take the hit. I'll pay 30% of your ticket price. Never happened.
No.
610-632-0975. FedEx Ed and Delco checking in. What's up, FedEx?
Greed. It's all greed, Mike.
Well, listen, I'm trying to look at it that's an incredible amount of money to pay for Eagles tickets.
$600. I don't make much more than that weekly.
Well, there's a lot of
can't
people.
afford-
There's a lot of people out there in that position that just it's the luxury that they need to do this for themselves, or else they go stir crazy, and it kills them in the pocketbook.
Yeah, I can't afford to go. So, and then I don't pay for them streaming services either, because I pay enough for cable as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to charge me more on top of that. So.
Yeah, well,
I
you
just do
either got to
without.
cut the cord, or you got to be a cable guy, or you got to do both. I can't cut the cord. I'm so used to cable and scrolling and my, having favorite stations that I could never cut the cord.
Yeah, the only way I can go is if somebody gives me tickets or something like that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I wind up going to minor league games. I go see the Blue Rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll watch Temple football when they're home. I'll go down there.
Oh, look at Ray. Ray's all excited that you go to Temple football. What do they do? They pay you to go there to those games, right?
And I can sit anywhere.
Yeah, you can make a couple dollars. They're paying you to go to.
Yeah. I can sit
I'm
anywhere.
sorry.
I can afford to have a hot dog there.
I could.
So.
I got you, bro. All right, FedEx, you got it. So $600. What's the season ticket cost?
That's what I've been working on over here, trying to find
An
what it
Eagle
is.
season ticket, but it's got to include a seat license, right?
Right.
So you have to already own that to buy an Eagle season ticket.
And if I get on the wait list now,
There's a wait list.
I'll get information probably about it in 2072. Not a
So
lot
it's
of
got
people
to be
giving
like
those up.
it's got to be like $5,000 a year, right?
Someone text
for
in the
tickets.
price. Someone give us the price of season tickets.
Got to be close to $5,000.
Oh, here we go. I have
Right.
season tickets in section 207
That's 207.
near the end zone. I pay almost $1,200 a ticket.
Oh my God! How? In the second deck?
Are we saying a ticket for the season?
Is that per game?
I can't imagine. That's not per
$1,200 a
game.
ticket?
That's not per game. It's got to be for the entire season. $1,200 a
That
ticket.
can't be an entire season either. Can't be an entire season. $1,200.
What would that be? $1,200 divided by the 8 games they play at home. Well, then you also have to throw in the $150 would be face value there. No seat license.
$150. Well, I guess that's not bad then.
Yeah.
$150 for that.
Yeah. Someone let me know how much it is per game for your tickets for the season
In
tickets.
a season ticket.
610.
pack. A good seat though.
632.
Like the first deck seat.
Yeah. Let me know because this is wild.
All right. 610-632-0975 is how you climb into the show. Guess what's coming up at noon? The news at noon with some really interesting stuff. Tattoo talk coming up. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies completed the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with an 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits. Alec Bowe and Nick Castellanos both homered in the win. The sweep has pulled the Phillies within 2.5 games of the Mets in the National League East ahead of a 4-game series in Miami against the Marlins. It's Mick Abel matching up with Sandy Alcantara on the mound tonight down there in Miami. Elsewhere, Major League Baseball, the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants in exchange for 4 players. It wasn't the only big trade of the day in the sports world. Sunday, the NBA saw the Memphis Grizzlies send Desmond Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks, as well as a pick swap. In the NBA tonight, of course, Game 5 of the NBA Finals out there in Oklahoma City. The series tied at 2 games apiece. So be the Thunder and Pacers, one of them taking the advantage tonight. You can listen to that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And the Union with a 2-1 win over Charlotte FC over the weekend. Marcus Anderson with a game-winning goal for the Union. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's. And right now, you'll find the latest summer styles all for under $25. With new arrivals arriving every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The Fanatic. Okay, so the second deck in the end zone is like 120 a game, right? Is that what we found out?
That's what we're getting here.
1,200.
1,200.
So that's where the 1,200 comes in. You got the 10 games you have to pay for, the 2 preseason games.
Correct.
Now that's not bad. Now, but that again, that's the second deck seat. So are we talking about the first deck seat? Are we talking about more than $400 per ticket for the first deck?
I'm still awaiting the person to help us out here from that second deck. So, three seats, 50-yard line, but again, section in the 200s here. We got 4,500 for 3 seats at the 50-yard line in section 201. So that'd be $1,500 a season without the seat license. So it sounds like the seat license is the lower bowl's the only one with the seat license.
Okay.
Okay. I sit in 129. My invoice was just under 2,000. And I assume
for a ticket.
For a ticket.
All right. And that's not counting the license. What's the license these days?
I'm trying to find.
Now we do that every year, right?
Here we go. We got $6,000 for 2 seats in section 103 this year.
$6,000.
$6,000
for 2 seats.
Yes.
Season ticket.
We got 137, 200 per ticket. We got people checking in now. We got a lot of people wanting to let me know how much they're paying. 2 tickets in 127, paying $4,000 for the season, so $2,000 a ticket. So we're doing 2,000. Yeah, it's not nearly as bad as what I thought.
Yeah.
So I think the secondary market is where we're getting crushed here.
Yeah, the secondary market is.
And I assume the single game tickets, you're probably paying a little bit more than what they're paying for
the only
season
way you
tickets.
can get them is the secondary market. So.
Well, you also get single game, but there's not a ton. So many season ticket holders.
We got Rick. He's a season ticket holder. Straighten some of this out. Rick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Rick? Talk to me here.
Oh, that's good. I have 2 seats in section 120, which are very good seats. They're on the visitors' side, about the 45, 50-yard line.
Yeah, it's a good
seat. In the 25th row. It's $6,000 a year for those 2 seats.
Okay.
That doesn't include the playoffs when they hit you.
So that's $600 a ticket, $600 a game.
Yeah.
For the 10 guys, $600. Oof.
And that doesn't include the playoffs where they kill you. I didn't want to get my playoffs.
Yeah.
If I didn't get my playoff tickets last year, they were going to cancel my tickets.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people.
And it's $60 to park now,
$60 to park, and the seat license. How did you pay for that?
I got it when they opened the stadium all those years ago, and I got them for $3,000 total. I could probably get $25,000 for them now.
Oh my God!
Maybe
for the seat license.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have to renew that every year? Is that $3,000 every year?
No. It was a one-time purchase.
One-time purchase. Okay.
Like buying stock, but I haven't looked at the market for it, but that's risk too, because if they build a new stadium or do something different, that seat license is worthless, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're right about that. So let me ask you a question. So is that money worth spending for you?
Fortunately, I'm in a position where I can do it, but it's a luxury. It's not a necessity. But I was on the verge of cutting the umbilical cord there, but my kids said, "Don't you dare!"
All right. Now, do you talk to other people who aren't in a financial position where that really hurts them a lot?
I do. Some people can't go to the games. If you buy a single game ticket and it's prohibitive for people to go to the game. Just parking. I mean,
yeah.
And a hot dog is what, $10 now?
So what do they wind up doing? Just selling the ticket?
So who are you talking about?
The people that really can't afford, that don't go to the games. Would they sell that ticket?
Well, they can't buy them. That was what.
Oh, they can't buy them. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but it's out. The NFL can't. What's the Eagles franchise worth now? It's in the billions, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
And the NFL gets so much TV money and so much gate money, and they make you buy those horrible preseason games, and it's just they can't print enough money
You're right, man. And the revenues just keep going up and up and up and up and up because just people are going to pay. And that's why I say it's a never-ending cycle of escalation out of your pocket. All right, it's 12 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. You're on the. I have great empathy for people. I love to have people be able to go to games, man. And some people can't. WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, BZ Media Group station. And we broadcast from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibility. It is noontime. Enjoy your lunch, everybody, over another rendition of The News at Noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we start today with some news from Chuck Barkley, who was on this show last week. His final broadcast of the season, he did something. Ray, the News at Noon.
He did. He got one final crack in there about them losing the rights to the NBA. It only felt fitting that in his final broadcast he got that in there. But we've heard him say that enough times. I figured that wasn't newsworthy enough for us here on the News at Noon. We got into quite the tattoo conversation at the end of last week. And Charles Barkley continued the tattoo conversation just in a different way, as there was someone out in Oklahoma City offering to give away 500 tattoos if the Thunder won the finals. So naturally, Charles was the guy on that panel, asked if he would get the tattoo. Take a listen to him totally misunderstand what he was being asked, but promised to get a tattoo.
Giving away 500 free tattoos if the Thunder win their first ever NBA championship. So, Chuck, here's the thing. If OKC wins, will you go to Oklahoma City and get one of those 500 free tattoos?
I tell you what, I will do that. Because I've never had a tattoo before. But I'm honestly going to do it this summer. I'm going to get my grandson and granddaughter's name, put it right here. Charlie Henry. I never thought anything was important enough. Some of these fools be getting women names put on them and they break up with them like damn idiots. So I've never thought about...
Well, what about your daughter?
No.
I'm like, just the grandkids? No kids?
Just the grandkids.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you'll get the Thunder tattoo right next to that?
No, I'm not getting no damn Thunder. Oh, you have to get a Thunder tattoo?
Yes.
No, I'm not doing that.
Chuck, they're not just giving a free tattoo.
I'm going to go to Oklahoma City. I'm going to go there and get Charlie and Henry put on my forearms. Because I was planning on doing that this summer. So...
Breaking news.
OKC, here I come.
Yeah, let's straighten it out for Chuck. You have to get a Thunder tattoo to get it free. You can get a tattoo anywhere else if you want to pay for it here. You know?
He just thought they were willingly giving up business to 500
tattoos.
people.
Here, give me a little script here from the Bible, right here on my ribs for free.
Let me get this Pacers logo because the Thunder won the finals. What? I love Charlie.
Oh, Chuck. Oh, man.
It's a great example of him living in his own world there for a second.
It really is. All right, what's next?
Yeah, you going to get a tattoo? Sure. All right, we had a obviously great weekend of golf, great finish to golf yesterday, and I know I talked to you off air. Cynically, I just loved watching all the guys struggle.
Yeah.
And that Hatton guy, who I already forget his first name again, was one that stuck out to me in neon just with how angry he got at the end of that.
He's got the reddest ass on tour, that man. Terrell Hatton. Terrell Hatton.
Hilarious. But before Oakmont, they did a promo. It was one of these golf sites that did a promotion basically asking a number of tour guys whether they would take even par. You don't have to show up for the weekend. Would you take even par at Oakmont? Here was the answers from all of them.
Would you take even par at Oakmont and stay in the clubhouse, or would you want to go play for the week?
No, I'd take even.
I would take even par at Oakmont, yeah.
I'd probably take even par now. I'll take even par. Hope for dry weather.
I've never seen it.
I've never played it.
From what I've seen on social media, it looks pretty difficult.
From what I've heard, I'll take even.
So I think even par would be pretty nice right now.
Oakmont has a reputation. Would you take even par now, or do you want to take your chances?
Take my chances.
The sole guy right there that said he'd take his chances, Colin Morikawa.
That was Colin Morikawa taking his chances, huh?
He finished 8 over.
Yeah, I've heard smarter people than Colin Morikawa say that they would take even par. In fact, who said McIntyre said it, right? It was McIntyre. Was that one of the voices on there?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, McIntyre. Yeah, take me because these guys can read it. And they go, okay, the rough is 5.5 inches. When they got nasty weather, that made it like 10.5 inches. Like it's funny because we're going to talk about this a little later about how people enjoyed seeing those guys get beat up. You loved it.
Loved it.
A lot of people didn't like it.
Oh, cry me a river.
All right. I hear you. All right. What's last?
All right, last one for you here. Jay Glazer, friend of the program, came on the show when you guys were down in New Orleans. Was on Julian Edelman's podcast and was telling the story of breaking Deflategate, something that was obviously near and dear to Edelman's heart, who gave him plenty of a hard time talking about it.
Yeah.
But he dealt with the integrity of journalism. And when you have the story, you need to break the story. Listen to the perils that Jay Glazer went through to make sure Deflategate got out there.
You guys were flying in for the Super Bowl, and I reported that the NFL has video of the two locker room attendants of taking 30 balls, whatever it was, into a bathroom for it. So I reported that as you guys were flying in. And guys were all pissed off at me, thinking I timed it on purpose for when you were flying in. But
yeah,
but
just
that's stupid.
Another mountain we had to overcome.
You're not waiting.
Just another mountain for us to overcome.
Yeah, it actually couldn't have come at a worse time of when I broke that story. Because I was actually with a girl, and this came in. It was the first time being with her. I was like, oh, I got to go. Do you know about the whole Deflategate? She's like, no, but I know about deflating. Hey, now. Could have been worse. So I remember I was getting killed on one of your stations up there in Boston.
Sports Hub,
and I said, hey, I want to stop off the show. And I said, guys, let me show you what I was about to do when I got that third confirmation. And I showed these guys a picture of a young lady, and they said, I said, you think I want to step away from this and go and break the story? They're like, no, you think I waited on purpose then to break it then? They're like, no, absolutely not. I said, right, please tell everybody what you saw. They're like, well, we can't, but we believe you.
So in other words, he was with a honey.
Uh-huh.
And he said, if I want to break it for that, I'm not going to break it. I'm not going to delay it. Right?
He would have delayed it.
I was already busy, and I would have delayed it. But in respect for journalism, I had to get it out.
He had to get the story out.
Good for him, man.
Gave up the night with the woman to get that story out there.
Good for him. Is he still with her?
No.
Wait, he's not?
No.
Come on. Is he married? Glazer?
I don't know if he's married, but I can tell you he's not with her.
Well, who's he with? Who's Jay Glazer with these days? I thought he was with somebody significant.
He married Rosie.
Yeah, I knew he was married. Okay.
Yeah, he got married in 2024. So I guess this was a part of the...
He married somebody very attractive, too, from what I understand, which is a big get for him.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a fire hydrant, frankly.
And how tall is he? He's like incredibly short.
He's like 5'3", isn't he?
Yes. Not that, but...
He looks like Fred Flintstone a little bit.
I feel for him every time they walk in the studio and they have all of them standing there, and it's like just a huge reminder of just how short he is.
Yeah, I got you.
But he's a friend of the program.
Well, I don't know if he knew what program he was on. When we had him on, he just kept talking. But it was always good to have him on.
He got the Sports Hub shout out in there, so obviously he's got a Beasley,
there
connection
you go.
there.
There you go. All right, that was the news at noon, everybody. By the way, 12 o'clock hour is being brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months. Rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. I'm going to come back and re-rack this Phillies talk about Bryce Harper. Well, does he have a responsibility to go back to the outfield now that they've found their solution with the great underdog story of Otto Kemp playing first base? The Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you.
12:13, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Okay, so the U.S. Open was, I don't know how many people watched all of it. I did. It went on almost till 8 o'clock. I'm thinking, man, it's dark outside where I live. How is there enough light on Oakmont that they're going to finish this round? But J.J. Spawn, kind of a journeyman. He's like the Otto Kemp of the tour. And he bogeys like the first 5 holes or whatever he did and to start a day, and he makes some miraculous comeback after they had a rain delay. And he winds up sinking a 65-foot putt to win it. Now, he could have 2-putted from that spot and still won because everybody else wilted, and my man won. It was pretty exciting to watch that guy. I was rooting for that guy, man. Were you rooting for him?
I found myself rooting for him, yeah. There wasn't really one player left at the end that I was so attached to from their time on the tour because, I'm a casual.
Yeah.
So once he started to get it going, I was like, this seems like a pretty good story. Then I started reading up on him. I'm like, yeah, this would be a great story. And then he nails that putt, and I was like, that was my guy all along. Obviously. It was never going to be anyone else but JJ.
Yeah. Well, I got a buddy of mine who texted me. And he said, been watching the U.S. Open. If you miss the fairway, you're bleeped for the most part. High grass or thick rough. You land on the green in the wrong spot, ball can roll down for yards. I'd complain if I were a major tour player. Now, you can't complain that the course is too tough. That would make you a weenie. Seriously. Oh, this course is too tough. But it was tough. I mean, they made it as tough as you could possibly make it. Oakmont already is one of the toughest courses you'll ever play. I've never had the pleasure of playing it, but I've known a lot of friends have played it, and they just it's a nightmare to actually be successful there. But tour players complaining that it's too tough? Nobody really complained about it was too tough, right?
You could tell by their actions out there on the course that they
weren't happy.
They were livid.
Tyrrell Hatton, yeah. Wyndham Clark destroyed a couple lockers in the venerable. Oh, you believe this guy? That guy should be suspended for. Come on, man.
I didn't hear about this.
He smashed a couple lockers with a club.
Wow.
You didn't hear about that?
No, I did not.
He's a pretty good player too. But once you get into the locker room, I can see it where you swipe at the grass in anger, or you swipe at a trap in anger. But when you gotta hit a locker with your club or kick it, come on, man.
Little much. We got the club flip from Rory that went viral, where he flipped it right back to himself. He tossed it off the bag and it bounced. It was pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Credit to him. Also, what was it? Burns, I thought, was going to lose his mind there at one point.
Oh, he melted down. The poor kid. Burns melted down. So my question is, did you enjoy watching those pro tours pro players suffer?
Absolutely.
I did too. I got to be honest with you. I did. There's a fine line between watching really good golf and watching guys suffer. But on that course, I loved the fact that they were suffering. It was survival. And J.J. Spawn survived more than any of them. So congratulations to that dude.
Yeah, congratulations to him. But I was thrilled to watch them struggle. Every time they hit it off the fairway, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to take them a while to get it back. Because it also was like I got to play it just as conservatively as possible, get it back onto the fairway to then try and play it up. And I'm like, you know what? I miss golf that I could relate to. That gets me livid. And seeing those guys livid, I'm happy about it. Hatton just became one of my favorites because seeing him react to the crappy shot after crappy shot. Now, I can't relate to the way he would finish the hole because he'd still somehow end up with a bogey or a double bogey in that scenario, and that's just not how I'd end up. But to see him get mad in those moments, I'm like, that's right. There's representation for me on the tour.
Yeah, but he's an idiot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he's like that in every tournament. Whether he's playing bad or good.
Well, I think I found a golfer that I can relate to, that I'm enjoying.
It's probably not that much fun to play with him. But did you know, I study equipment that people use, right? Because obviously the golf industry and the way they sell equipment, it's a moneymaker for the golf industry. New drivers come out. It's almost like an iPhone. New drivers come out every year. Oh, no, this one's better than the last one. No, this one's better. No, we've improved this. And I always look at putters. Did you see the putter that J.J. Spawn uses?
I did not.
It looks like it's got a ring in the back of the actual face of the putter. It's a center shaft putter, which means the putter is directly in the center of the club. So you look at it, it's called a Lab. The Lab Series putter,
wow.
LAB. It's like a really hot putter for amateurs right now. But I haven't really seen anybody on tour use that kind of putter that he used. But he made all kinds of putts with it.
Yeah, how much are you willing to pay to be good at putting?
That putter, that Lab putter?
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Let me see how much that putter is. It's astronomically priced.
$559 is what I'm seeing.
$559 for that type
Golf.
of putter? From Lab Golf?
Yeah. $559. Now, if you want a nice discount from Golf Galaxy, you get $449.
I'm going to actually try it out. You spare no expense. When it comes to a putter, you spare no expense. A putter or a driver. It's funny. You just get sucked right into it.
Now, I'm going to take one of those from the back here, and I'll be using those. Those are the only ones
I just got sucked into buying a new driver.
Really?
Yeah. I had the yips of my driver. My driver was just like the two drivers that I have. They were done. I couldn't hit them anymore. So you try a new driver, you demo the club, you play with it, and you go, that's sold. And as soon as you buy it, it'll go bad. That's rule one of golf.
Interesting.
As soon as you buy a new club, you hit it good on the range, it sells you, and then it turns on you. And people are listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's the same with a putter. You invest a lot of money in a putter, it feels good. This feels good. And you're making putts on the practice putting green. And then as soon as you get in your hand and you're in real competition, there it goes.
And I'm going to drop one of your favorite lines here. Mm-hmm. With all due respect.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of the user error?
It's a total user error.
Okay. Wanted to be clear on that.
No,
one.
because
it's not going bad
when you demo a club, you're not concentrating. You're not pressing. You're just saying, let's see how this works. And you swing free and easy and you hit it. And then you take it into competition and you're pressing. And so you don't hit it like you hit it on the range.
Okay, just want to make sure that we were all on the same page about
No, you're right. You're right. It's user error consistently.
Hey, the next club, though, that'll be the one that turns it around.
Well,
that next one you buy.
I bought it. I haven't played. I bought. You don't buy the demo. They gave you a new one. So the demo is what I was hitting. Guaranteed now the new one won't be as good as the demo.
I have faith in you.
610-632-0975. And I'm planning for my next round to be with Charles. So it better hit it straight.
Did anyone see him at Valley Forge on Saturday? He said that was the first thing he was doing.
What?
That he was going to Valley Forge to go bet. It was the first thing he was doing when he got back to town.
Yeah. Well, when was he in town?
He said he was coming back Saturday, right after he was down Friday
so
night.
He's in town right now.
Apparently. According to what he told us Friday.
Yeah, I didn't return my text. I'm trying to arrange it for a little, 610.
If he hasn't returned your text, I can tell you he hasn't returned mine.
0975. What, you texted him to?
No. Oh. Just saying. You would know a lot better where he is than me.
Sometimes he won't return text. It's weird about him. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies completed the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with an 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits. Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos both homered in the win. The sweep has pulled the Phillies within just 2.5 games of the Mets in the National League East. The Phillies now with a 4-game series in Miami against the Marlins. It's Mick Abel matching up with Sandy Alcantara on the mound tonight down in Miami. Elsewhere, Major League Baseball yesterday, the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants in exchange for 4 players, and it wasn't the only blockbuster in the sports world yesterday. Traded the NBA as Memphis sent Desmond Bain to Orlando for Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, and a pick swap. Tonight, you get Game 5 of the NBA Finals. You can listen to it right here on 97.5 The Fanatic as the Thunder and Pacers tied up at 2 games apiece, playing a decisive Game 5 down there in Oklahoma City. The winner gets control of the series at a 3-2 advantage, and the Union won over Charlotte FC over the weekend, 2-1. Marcus Anderson with a game-winning goal for the Union. This update is brought to you by ExpressPros.com. Tired of feeling alone in your job search? With just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. That connection is Express Employment Professionals. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Missanelli Show. You can climb into the show at 610-622-0975. You know who's available to play left field as a platoon hitter? Our old pal, Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield, currently a free agent, Ray. He's with nobody. He's bitter about it, too.
I would say no.
He didn't get a fair shake in Atlanta. Didn't get a fair shake with the Phillies.
Didn't get a fair shake with the Phillies.
That's what he says.
What do you mean didn't get a fair shake with the Phillies?
Whit can't play anymore. It's a shame. You know, who has lost their ability quicker than him in baseball? When they got him, he was still a viable player. And then he just crapped out, and he's done.
He was bad in the second half of the season with Toronto, and then he was bad here for 53 games. I'm sorry. If you're hitting 199, I think you got a fair shake.
He was a major acquisition for them that year.
Oh, I know. Because I had the same reaction to them signing him as I had to them signing Max Kepler. Like, really? This is what's going to solve all the problems? This is the guy that you're turning to?
All right, we are back to the discussion of the Phillies and their situation and responsibility of Bryce Harper. Now, we talked about it in two separate conversations. One was the Rafael Devers conversation, that if the Phillies were indeed interested in Rafael Devers, would it behoove them to ask Bryce Harper to go back to the outfield or even have him suggest it? And if he said no, would he be at fault?
I said you could be critical of the guy. He literally went and spoke in the offseason to Ken Rosenthal and talked about the fact that he would be open to playing outfield if they made things work and getting a first baseman. That is him telling you I would be willing to do that. Now, at this point in the season, where we're at, you've mentioned a number of times, moving guys around at this point in the season, would you do it? And the fact that we've been talking about an injury for him over the last couple weeks, is it feasible for him to do it? I'd understand why they didn't do it. But to me, if this was something over the offseason you thought you could get better as a club and you would include getting a first baseman in doing so, if they do not get better, in part because they could have had a first baseman that's not here right now, he has to share in the blame there.
Okay, that's A. B scenario is, and this is in conjunction with our love of our little underdogs. Little Otto Kemp playing first base, giving him a little bit of a spark with 4 hits yesterday. When Bryce comes back, would it behoove the Phillies to keep Otto Kemp at first base, to give you a little sparkaroo, and have Bryce go to the outfield? How are we feeling about that,
Man,
right?
I'm not feeling that.
No, you're not feeling about it? Well, Colarulo would absolutely. That would work.
I'm not turning Otto Kemp into an everyday player all of a sudden because we got 10 days worth of him hitting 300.
All right, would you try Kemp in left field as your right-handed bat and drop Dub back to AAA?
I would drop Dub back to AAA. I don't know if it's I don't know if I'm doing the whole platoon thing with Kemp out in left field, though. Like, hey, listen, Kepler's starting to swing it. Might as well, the guy you paid $10 million, see if he can hit lefties if we're exhausting all opportunities before the deadline.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you need a right-handed bat there.
I hear you.
It's not, to me, it's not Otto Kemp.
Yep. Okay. So there's a couple topics on board, both of them involving Bryce moving back to the outfield. Now, I'm usually on the side of the player saying, no, I'm more comfortable here. But the Phillies have a problem in left field right now. They have a problem in the outfield in general. So that would kind of reduce their problem and make it more concentrated, getting more offense out of this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an issue for this outfield. This weekend obviously ends up being nice because Marsh is starting to hit the ball and Kepler's starting to hit the ball over the last week. But we see flashes all the time. You know, who are these players? You know who these players are. They need someone out there. Taylor Ward is, I think the attractive name. Last year, that was the name at the deadline that I thought, hey, if you could go get Taylor Ward power-wise, that'd be nice for you. Again, you look at his average and the people that hate the fact that this team strikes out too much and is power hunting, that's a guy you're going to hate. You're going to look at him and you're going to say, no thanks. But right now, home run-wise, Kepler's got 8. If you add up Kepler, Castellanos, and Marsh, you're hardly ahead of where Taylor Ward's at by himself. He's at 18, just alone.
What would it cost you? Abel for Taylor Ward straight up. You doing it?
Ooh.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Abel's the expendable part.
The part of this, honestly, is what's it going to cost me to get the back end bullpen option that I want, and what do I value more of them going to get out? Do I keep a more valuable trade chip for the thing that they need the most?
So you're rooting for Abel to pitch well tonight.
Oh yeah,
and I'm a fan of the Marlins.
You're a fan of the Marlins?
No, I'm not a fan of Marlins. In this game, I am.
You're a fan of your money, is what it is.
I'm a fan of my money. In this game, I think for some reason that line is very low.
How often do you bet against our teams here?
Only when it's good value.
I feel like I've been working with you for a while.
Listen, I'm already on record saying the Marlins stink.
Correct.
Like I would never even look at the line of this game. But I happen to look at it and I go, what? It's a slender line for the Phillies tonight. So that gets my attention.
Yeah, I understand why it gets your attention. It's just I feel like you're going against the home team here a little too often.
What my betting? What does it influence the result?
I'm just saying.
What do I have to do with the game? If I lay $25 on the Marlins tonight, what do I have to do with the game? I hope I lose. I'm not rooting for them to lose. I don't mind if the Phillies win and I lose a bet. I don't mind it.
You're a fan of your money.
I am, but it's like it doesn't devastate me because the way I look at it, I ask for it.
That's a good way to look at it. I just look at the alternative. You know, I am so especially if they lose to the Marlins, tomorrow will come in.
There are many times. Listen, it probably is like 10-1.
Right.
That I'll bet the Phillies and not the other team. There are just some things that you go, well, I might as well take a shot at this. When is it minus 115 or Phillies going to play the Marlins? When are they ever going to be minus 115? When are the Marlins ever going to be minus 105?
I got you.
In a game.
You sound like my buddies who go
right.
Into the
It's like the odds maker is saying, yo, Mike, yo. That's what they're saying.
I know what they're saying, and usually when you do this, I remember the Blue Jays game a couple weeks ago.
Exactly.
That you had the good feel, and
it was the second start for Abel.
Yeah, you had to be right for the wrong reason. They didn't hit in that game, but they still lost. Yeah.
Right, but the theory is it was good. I bet based on theory.
Are we on a fade Abel train here?
Tonight, they're already doing that. By setting the line, they're telling me, well, it's Abel. That's why we're unsure of him. So we're going to make this really close line.
I don't know. Are you using Vegas as a justification to feel like we should start fading Abel here?
I am.
Has he pitched above his means so far?
I think that's what they're saying, that he has. And that's why this line is low tonight.
You know what actually bothers me the most about this is because a lot of times I want to go the opposite way with you, and I'll do, you know what, Mike's betting against them. I'll bet for him. It feels like good show karma here. And most of the time, you end up winning.
You would never bet against them.
Oh, I have before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. It just seems like it's happened quite a bit, quite frequently. This is a rare occurrence for me.
No, I just bet Oklahoma City. Now, that line is huge.
I like that.
But I knocked that down a couple pegs. I got a favorable line by betting it down a little bit.
This series over?
Yeah, I think Oklahoma City now wraps this series up.
I feel like this series has been declared over like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. What is that line on this game?
The line on the game tonight between the Thunder and the Pacers?
Yeah. Is it 9.5?
It is. Man.
Might be higher than that.
Someone could just get me a line. That'd be great. I'm trying to get to the game here. The line in this one is 9.5, yeah.
9.5.
Good work by you.
So I don't like the 9.5. I knocked it down.
2?
To 5.5.
5. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't like the 9.5 points. 5.5 I'm comfortable with.
I'm not comfortable with this entire series throwing any of my money on it. Every time it feels like we figured it out.
You're right. You're taking a chance.
The Pacers especially. I don't like throwing money around when the Pacers are involved because it feels like they just start stealing money from me.
I gotcha. By the way, the draft, NHL draft, not the NBA. The NHL draft is June 27th. Always an exciting time, the NHL draft. And you can join 97.5 The Fanatic for a live broadcast with Flyers leadership and alums. That's right. To celebrate the first night of the NHL draft, that's Friday, June 27th from 6 to 10 at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino, Atlantic City. So you venture down to Atlantic City, have a little fun. Tickets are $6 per person. Very cheap. You get into the party. You commemorate the Flyers selecting number 6 overall, and the proceeds of that money benefit Flyers charities. Complimentary food vouchers included, along with access to raffles and giveaways. Special appearances include Flyers head Dan Hilferty, Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet, Flyers alum Mark Recchi and Todd Fedoruk, and much more. Click events at 975thefanatic.com for all the info. On the other side, Charles Barkley said something about Joel Embiid that I want to talk about in a little bit. Had a really interesting outlook when we talked to him last week on Joel. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We're back after this.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at 2 p.m. on Unfiltered.
The Fanatic. 610-632-0975. We have a few texts in here, including a text on how I would shoot at Oakmont.
Yeah, asking out of curiosity for you here. It was Matt Maple Shade, that was checking in, talking about the fact that he enjoyed watching, but he's a 14 handicap. I don't think I would have broken 200 on that course in the best conditions.
Well, not the way it was set up.
You break it 200?
No, well, not the way it was set up. Well, I'd probably break 200, but that's a lot of strokes, man.
That is a long day.
Be out there for like 7 hours, 8 hours. The course would not be set up the same way for us if we played it. Like our tee boxes would be shorter. The rough would be cut down a little bit. They don't keep the rough at 5.5 inches for their everyday members there. Remember, the members would kill them. The members want to play good golf. They don't want to play punishing golf.
It was absurd to see the rough that way.
Yeah, I mean, and then it was wet, which made it even harder. The greens are really tough there. The whole course setup is tough. They got the pew bunkers there. You get one of those bunkers in the fairway, you're done. You're punching out. I would shoot, I don't know, set up like the regular tees that the members play. I'd probably $120.
I'd still be out there if I start on Thursday.
$125 maybe. I don't know. It's not fun to make 8 at all. Like making 8s and 9s, like that's not fun.
Why I don't golf?
Yeah. I don't know how much I would enjoy playing the course. I would like to play it once just to experience it, because a lot of friends of mine have experienced it. But yeah, it's probably the most difficult course you could ever play.
I was talking to Dee yesterday, and she's played it before. I forget what her exact score was, but she was very, very annoyed with the score that she had. And she said she played it over a decade ago, and that she'd like to get back and try and play it again. But that was before she was out golfing as much as she is right now. So she feels like a second shot there, she would do a lot better.
All right. I don't know. I can't imagine. Like the toughest course I've played, and they compared this to Carnoustie, which is in Scotland. It's a nightmare. You get into the fescues there, and you're giving away. Like you don't even pros can't even get out of that fescue. You saw how difficult they couldn't get out of it. So the amateurs take like 4 hacks before he gets out of that.
You kidding me? I'm showing up with clippers. I'm cutting everything around me.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's against the rules.
Yeah, all right.
It's against the rules.
The better chance of me.
You can't be clipping stuff.
I'll save everyone the time. I'll get kicked off in the first hole.
Yeah. What else we got on the text board?
All right, Frank from Harrisburg checking in. I'll know if the Phillies are legit after the trade deadline because it's the same team as last year that sucked in the postseason.
Yeah, well, you can't say they're going to. Years don't carry over from one to the next. You can't say because they sucked in 2 previous playoffs they're going to suck again. It might be completely different this time. They have the benefit of having really good pitchers that can take them deep by giving up very few runs. So that lessens the load on your offense. So you can win a game 3-1 maybe.
And we found a texter. It only took till 12:45 to chime in with, why didn't the Phillies go after Rafael Devers? Mm-hmm. Which is something I thought people would be asking a lot more today that apparently is not at all what the people are asking.
Well, we don't know if they did or not. We don't know if they did. First of all, let me give you my position on Bryce Harper. I don't think Bryce Harper should move to the outfield. I know in the morning show is painting him out. If he didn't want to move to the outfield, he's a selfish lout. I don't believe. I believe he believes he can help the team better by playing that position, first base. I believe that's what he believes.
So he might believe that, but he told you in the offseason that he believed there was a world he could help the team out in the outfield.
I think that was just patter. I think that was just saying something for the sake of saying something. He knows if he goes to the outfield, he would struggle. He would struggle playing the outfield again. And if he struggles playing the outfield, he would take that maybe to the plate. And that's the last thing that guy would want, a distraction that takes him away from the plate.
Then why did he say it?
Because you say stuff like that. What are you going to say if somebody asks you that question? No, absolutely not. I'm not willing to move positions.
This was a volunteered conversation.
Well, what is he going to say?
Then don't talk to Ken Rosenthal in the offseason when you don't have to.
He's trying to make, you know how he panders. He's a panderer.
All right,
he wants everybody to think that he's Mr. Wonderful. So the Mr. Wonderful answer is, yeah, if they need me to play out there, I play out there. He doesn't really mean that.
Talk about the wonderful TikTok career you have ahead of you and how much fun you're having in Philadelphia. Don't just volunteer something that you don't mean.
He doesn't mean it. I know he's comfortable at first base. It allows him to concentrate on on him hitting the best that he can, being the best hitter he can. If he moves to the outfield, that creeps in. That creeps a little uncertainty into it, which could leak in when he's at the plate.
I understand why you're not moving him to the outfield. And I understand right now in this current moment why that's not really, I think, a conversation that you're going to have, because I don't anticipate them doing that, of moving him to the outfield. I just don't understand why you say it in the first place, because it opens up the world in which we talk about, well, would you reshuffle him? If you're not going to do it, just, again, don't volunteer your time to a reporter in the offseason to say, yeah, I would move to the outfield if it helped out the team in a short-term situation.
Don't you know that helps him publicly when he says something like that? Because he knows the Phillies aren't going to ask him to do it. So he might as well just say it.
Yeah, but then we sit here, it helps him in the moment where it's like, wow, look at this Bryce guy. And now we're sitting here in June talking about what could they potentially do at the deadline. And for a lot of us...
You're right. He backed himself into a corner.
Yeah, now he definitely backed himself into a corner, which he's going to probably wiggle out of by, my wrist, my right wrist. That's my throwing arm right there. I can't, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make that throw, so I'm going to stay there at first. I mean, he's going to get out of it. He's going to find his way out of it with the injury.
All right, let's hear this thing with Charles Barkley. Because I wanted to. There's a couple of sound bites that I like to play from our conversation last week, and the one is that where Charles said he never had a coach that would hold him accountable. So let's hear that first. That's Charles Barkley 6, Ray.
I think one of the problems with all these young guys is they have so much power. They don't pay attention to the coach or first of all, everybody, the general manager's afraid of them also. Because once you give them so much money, they're not going to listen to the coach. Because, Gerald's never had a coach who would hold him accountable, first and foremost. Because he developed a lot of bad habits when he first got to the Sixers.
Well, there you go. So now he followed that up, and he got a little deeper with it. With number, say he told a story about Billy Cunningham and him seeing a Sixer practice, and Billy saw that Joel Embiid did not scrimmage, and Billy would say, "Let's go. The best player's not scrimmaging. Steve's not going anywhere." Here's what he had to say.
If Joel had had a real coach from the beginning, I think his career would be totally different. I think he would have been the greatest if he had like a real coach from the beginning, like a Billy Cunningham. I think he would have been the greatest player in Sixer history. I'm not saying no disrespect to Doc or Wilt Chamberlain or myself. I think if he had a real coach from the beginning who held him accountable, I think he would have been the greatest player in Sixer history.
The question begs, and I would love to get some feedback on this. What would you have done to make him more accountable? What would it have been? What ABC solution would have made him more accountable? We'll see if some people have suggestions on that. 610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies completed the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with an 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run, striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits. Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos both homering in the victory. The sweep has pulled the Phillies within 2.5 games of the Mets in the National League East. Now the Phillies have a 4-game set in Miami against the Marlins. Mick Abel matched up with Sandy Alcantara on the mound tonight down there in Miami. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox yesterday made waves. They trade Rafael Devers to the Giants in exchange for 4 players. Not the only blockbuster in the sports world on Sunday, as the NBA saw the Memphis Grizzlies send Desmond Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, and a pick swap. The NBA Finals have Game 5 tonight. The 2 teams nod at 2 games apiece. Oklahoma City, the site of the Thunder and Pacers game tonight. You can listen to that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And the Union with a 2-1 win over the weekend over Charlotte FC. Marcus Anderson with a game-winning goal in that one for the Union. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE sedan. Hurry it down through July 31st. Learn more at MBUSA.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is the Mike Missanelli Show. I was looking at this video. I hadn't seen this until now. Did you see the video of the guy who walked away from that plane crash in India?
No.
And you didn't see this?
No, I did not.
They have video. The plane crashes and blows up behind him. This dude is walking towards the street with his cell phone.
My goodness.
It's incredible when you think about it, how this guy survived. 280 people died. He was the lone survivor, and he just, like, he didn't even get, like, he got scratched up a little bit. But, I mean,
what?
It's unbelievable when you think, did you see it?
Yeah.
He's walking away from the plane crashes behind him. He's walking away. He must have got tossed out of the plane somehow and survived and is walking. He has abrasions over his left forearm and over his eyes. That's it.
So a couple of things stick out to me here. One, this is phone addiction at its peak because you just had a near-death experience, and the first thing you're doing, you can see him scrolling.
Yeah.
He's
scrolling TikTok?
I don't know. I'd be looking to the heavens. Thank you.
This is the most unbelievable story I've ever heard. Seriously, he has no fractures. His chest and abdomen are clear. The patient is vitally stable.
So
he's literally walking away from the crash.
It's truly incredible. Watch him just walk. He just like pops out of nowhere as if
he just pops out of nowhere. Exactly, is what he does.
He looks like me taking like one of the corner streets in Northern Liberty. He's just popping out in the corner.
Yeah.
Like it looks like nothing's happened.
He looks like Kelly Oubre walking away from the car crash. Doesn't he?
I don't know. We don't know.
Walking away from like Kelly Oubre.
We've only seen the ring camera footage.
I mean, I'm just flabbergasted by this video. Like somebody took a video. This guy is just walking away, and first thing he's doing is on his cell phone.
I'm reading right now. Someone did a story with an plane crash expert.
Yeah.
About how one person survives. Like how it's only one person. How like the variables play into that person's favor and how lucky they are. So the things that they go to here: position, aircraft, angle of impact, body orientation, restraint usage, debris path, and then the immediate evacuation. Like they have the most no duh comment of all time in here, which the likelihood of survival in a crash of this nature is incredibly low, and I do believe that luck was on his side. Like, yeah, to survive that, it feels like no kidding that person has to be lucky.
I mean, that's beyond luck. That's like you're touched by the hand of God there.
Right, which is why I wouldn't be looking at my phone. I'd be looking up like I would be anything but.
I don't know what I mean. I would be stunned. Maybe he's just stunned. I mean, he's walking away. His first instinct is like he's got his phone in his hand. He's not really lucid at that point.
That's fair. A survival pocket is an immediate area where a crashed vehicle, especially an aircraft, where the forces of impact, fire, and structural collapse are mitigated enough to allow a person to survive, even when the rest of the structure is destroyed.
Well, I've never really heard of that.
So the survivability pocket. That's where you have to be.
Survivability pocket. So he was in the right spot, right at the right time, at the right moment.
Correct, because it references actually multiple plane crashes over history where there was one woman that survived a Cuban plane crash that killed 112 people in 2018. 2009, there's one that killed 152 people, and a 12-year-old girl survived in that plane crash as well. So I guess there's just like one pocket.
How do you treat the rest of your life when you survive a near-death experience like that? Is every day a gift from that moment on?
I would say so.
Every day is a gift. Like Tony Soprano when he got out of the hospital. Every day is a gift.
I would buy every single one of those things you put up on the wall. You know, life is this, life is that. I would be living by every single one of those mottos for the rest of my life. How in the world? Well, what would you do?
I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would think I was special, though.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be hard not to think that.
I'd probably get conceited over it. 610-632-0975. You're listening to Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station. And, of course, we broadcast live every day from the Comcast Business Studios. Let's get to the phones to start the 1 o'clock hour with Joe in West Philly, who's checking in on the Joel Embiid situation. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Mikey, man?
How you doing?
No, listening to Charles Barkley talk is like funny sometimes. I grew up in the Charles Barkley era. One of my favorite players of all time and all that. Well, I remember when Charles, used to kill players like Armand Gilliam. I remember he used to stand behind Mike Jaminski and hold his nose.
I remember those days, too. I remember those days. I remember. Yeah, but he's also saying that
when he was young too.
Yeah, he's also saying that he was talked to by he had a coach that wouldn't put up with his nonsense a lot of the times, and he had teammates who wouldn't put up with his nonsense. So that's where I think he's differentiating.
But he kind of talked himself all the time. I didn't like how he carried the organization today, and I know we were bad, but darn, Charles really, he talked his way out of town, with a flair, But,
he did. Yes, he did. He did. He talked his way out of town.
And he had a lot of shenanigans. He had no problem telling people they stink and holding their nose. And all.
I remember when he held his nose at Jaminski, and Jaminski is one of his best friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he held his nose on the court as they were coming back up the court. He looked at the coach and held his went like this, pointed to Jaminski and held his nose. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember it.
Yeah. But I think Joel. He's a kid from Cameroon, Africa. His roots go way back to Dr. Derek Charles. He probably really has no education and no idea who these guys really are, or what they really can help him with, things like that. I think he catches a bad rap, man.
You think he catches a bad rap, huh?
Yeah, some guys are injured. If you're injured, what can you do? When the guy is not injured, he's the best. Yeah,
but Charles made the point. Why are you injured? You're injured most of the time. You're injured because you haven't kept your body in the proper condition.
Yeah.
Now I think you can look at him and admit that he hasn't kept his body in the proper condition relative to how you need to do it in the NBA.
He gained a whole lot of weight since the.
So maybe that's one place where they could have made him more accountable. If you're not at a certain weight, you're not playing.
Yeah, we all know about the Shirley Temples and the McDonald's and all that kind of stuff early in his career.
Yeah.
Those things.
That's also like not playing in a script. I do believe they have coddled Joel. I do believe that. I've heard a lot of stories down there on how much of a baby he could be down there, so they coddle him.
Yeah. But I think when it comes to him playing basketball, on the court and all that, I think his skills, like Charles said, he's unquestionable. He could have been one of the best sixes ever.
I get it. But he's not now, is he?
He's not now.
You haven't gotten past the second round of the playoffs. That your career is going to be dotted with that.
No doubt. Has Charles ever got past the second round of his career with the Sixers?
One Eastern Conference.
Yeah, one Eastern Conference final. He got to.
Okay. I get. I'm not coming to Charles. You know what I mean?
I think you are. You got a little edge for Charles today. It looks like.
I just remember the shenanigans he used to pull the court. I remember the shenanigans and stuff he used to say. Come on, he wasn't even undercover with it. Come right directly. I was like, no, this guy's not holding no way with Jaminski on TV.
No, you're right. I remember those days too. And Charles did talk his way out of town. But when it comes to a B, he might not be wrong. Both things could be true here, that Charles slacked sometimes. And then until Moses and Billy Cunningham got his acting gear. And that's what I think he's trying to say. A teammate or a coach can make you accountable and say, guess what? You're not starting because X. You're not in good enough shape. Now, would the Sixers suffer for that? Yeah, they would, but they'd suffer toward the regular season. And so to make a guy more accountable, you sacrifice an L or a W every now and then to make him more accountable. And maybe that should have been done. I think that's what Charles was suggesting.
Yeah, I think Charles also, you could say what you want about when he was young, when he was here. Like, he's now been around this game for how long? And he also has his own personal experiences. I would imagine if you asked Charles to list every single thing he did during his NBA career, there's plenty in there that he's probably not proud of.
But the one thing that I think he never had tolerance for was if you're a slacker. When he's talking about bailing out on his teammates, he bailed out on them because they weren't hustling as much as maybe he was at the time. And the classic story that he tells was the Armand Gilliam, since the caller brought up Armand Gilliam, and Charles Shackelford. and how one day Harold Katz, who was the owner of the team, called a meeting, a post-practice meeting, and assembled them all in the locker room and had them all sit in a semicircle and explain why they thought they were losing, why they were on this losing streak. That they went to each player. Harold went to each player. And he finally got to Barkley, and Charles said, "You really want me to tell you what's wrong with it? With this team, Harold?" He goes, "Yeah, Charles, that's why we're here. I want total honesty." He says, "Well, we're losing because these two guys, Shackelford and Gilliam, suck." That's a classic story. They got up and they charged him, and he warded them off with a stool like a lion tamer.
It is probably my dad's favorite sports-related story to tell over and over. Literally, I texted him Friday when we were having Charles on. I was like, "Happy Father's Day. Like, here's your early gift is you're going to get to hear Charles Barkley today on the air," because my dad loves that story so much.
Now, that sounds like a bad teammate, and it probably is. But in other words, he was saying these guys aren't carrying their weight, and so they need to have a kick in the ass. And maybe that's what he's saying about Joel Embiid. Joel needed an occasional kick in the ass, and they coddled him instead of kicking him.
The question that comes off of what we played there is, at that time in the organization, one, you were kind of devoid of vets maybe that were willing to give that conversation to him. Like, I know they had Bob Butte, who was here, which was supposed to be a veteran that could help him out. And obviously with Brett Brown in the position that he was in, was there anyone in this organization that could have stepped in and done more at the time? Or because he says real coach. I know.
Well, Brett Brown was a young coach.
Yeah, was there anyone...
You know,
like, does it just fall on the coach and the players, or is it more to the organization?
Listen, you know who had the clout to do something like that? The Larry Browns of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Brown fought with Iverson all the time. He tried to make him accountable. It didn't work, but he tried it, and he outed him in public. And maybe at the risk of them hating you as a coach or an executive, you out somebody out in public, say he's got to get in better shape. Simple as that. We're not going to win until he gets in better shape. And maybe that does something. Maybe that's making him accountable. I don't know.
A true changing moment for this organization was when a coach actually tried to offer constructive criticism, shall I say, with Doc Rivers at the end of that Hawks series.
Yeah.
And you saw the way Simmons took it.
Yeah, that was Simmons, though.
That's what I'm saying. But that was still one of your stars. Like,
you run the risk of losing a player when you do something like that.
Right. Do we think that there would have been Joel Embiid would have been lost? Like, would Joel Embiid not be here right now if a coach came at him like that?
Who does it anymore? Who does that kind of thing? I guess Spoelstra did it with Jimmy Butler this year.
That worked out great.
Very few coaches have the clout to do that. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Monday, June 16th, the Phillies bats came up.
112, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. You can climb in. You want to chat it up? Love to chat with you today. 610-632-0975. Anything that's on your mind that we've been talking about, or anything we haven't talked about you want to chat about, hit us up. The Fanatic Deal of the Week this week is a pretty good one. 2 Ocean City Water Park and Adventure golf tickets for the price of 1. Beat the heat and splash into fun with thrilling slides, a lazy river, and an exciting mini golf course. This exclusive offer is available while supplies last on our website, 975thefanatic.com/deals. I do believe, if I can look into my crystal ball of weather, that this is supposed to be an 80-degree plus weekend at the beach. Am I reading this the right way? Is this true?
I'm not going to believe it till I see it.
But you see the forecast, right? Have you seen the forecast?
Not a huge weather guy. I've just really recently gotten into checking the weather. I don't check that far out.
Let me just check it out here. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see. Let's just say we'll do Ocean City. Should we do Ocean City?
That's where the deal of the week is.
Okay, Ocean City. Let's see what the forecast will be this weekend. Okay, so Tuesday, 35 chance of rain. Wednesday, 55 chance of rain. Thursday, 35. Friday, sunny and 81. Saturday, sunny and 81. And Sunday looks like it's a little cloudy, but 84.
Hell yeah.
On Sunday. How about that?
So much good.
And then Monday, 85. Tuesday, 88. Wednesday, 87. We got a heat wave coming our way, Ray.
I'm taking a long weekend. No, I'm not. But it's.
I think I might. I think that might be happening this Friday. I hate to break it. I hate to break it to the people, but get somebody in, man.
Stick with us, 10 to 2. I can tell you who will be here.
I'll put an official request in. Is this counts as an official request?
This sounds like a pretty official request. I assume Vito's listening to us over there.
Vito, I'm off Friday. All right, I'll tell you that right now. I'm headed to the beach. I gotta
get some golf in.
I gotta get some sun, man. No golf this weekend. A little baseball on Sunday. I get to the beach, get a couple days, and get back by Sunday. Play a baseball game.
Yeah, I've been to the beach plenty. I haven't gotten any sun in. I did manage to get sunburned though.
There's no sun. It's been ridiculous.
Without the sun, I managed to get sunburned.
Oh, you did?
I did. It was truly impressive.
Well, those waves come through the clouds.
Yeah.
Those rays.
I put sunblock on, man. I don't know what's happening.
Really?
Yeah.
And you still got burned?
Yeah. On that day.
These Irish guys.
There's no hope for me.
Yeah. See, the sun doesn't like Irish guys.
No. We go buy one of those long sleeve shirts, walk around in it.
Let's go back to the phone. Not the phones, the text board. What's the text board saying?
A couple people questioning the survivability pocket.
Yeah.
But there was a couple people upset, actually, that you were taking the stance you did with Harper. That Harper is an example of a guy that we love to coddle and caress with baseball players. They're so delicate and tender, especially in the head.
Well, listen, if I'm Harper, I wouldn't do it. Now, as a fan, would I like to see him do it? Yeah. I'm putting myself in his head. Like, his head now is firmly entrenched that I have mastered this position to the point where I become a Gold Glove contender. Because I'm comfortable there, that frees me up to hit the best I can. Now, if I have to go to a new position, I squeeze myself a little bit. Maybe that affects me offensively. That's why I can't do it, because I'm more a benefit to the team if I'm at my best offensively. A equals B, which doesn't equal C here. You know what I'm saying?
Never much of a math guy.
Well, you know what I'm saying? If I go to left field, chances are that's going to weigh on me a little heavier to the point where it may affect my performance offensively, which then hampers the ball club.
See, if he was learning a new position, I would be saying, yeah, all right, I understand where you're coming from. It's not that he hasn't played outfield before.
But he hasn't been there in a long time. There is always an adjustment period. When you are now overthinking that you have to play this new position and go back to the way you used to do stuff, it weighs on you to the point where it may affect the way you concentrate offensively.
But do we ever really worry about Bryce Harper?
I don't know. We've never been in this situation with Bryce Harper.
Well,
this is a completely different situation. It would be brand new. Okay, here's Bryce Harper playing left field. Will that affect him as an offensive player? I don't know.
They moved to first. He figured it out.
Moved to first, but it was a start. It was like, okay, this is a new news. You have to do this because of your arm, because of the time. You can't throw. This is why you have to play this position.
Which is why I think this entire conversation could be rendered pointless when he comes back from the injured list and they tell us, no, we're too worried about his right wrist. Moving it back out to the outfield, he's going to stick in the infield.
Where he doesn't have to throw as much?
Yeah, I think that's going to be where he ends up. Because whether or not he'd actually do it, I don't think we're ever going to get the real reasoning of if he'd do it, because he's going to come back from the injured list. They're going to be like, well, why would we risk it? He's Bryce Harper.
So what I'm doing here, I'm not trying to make him selfish. I'm trying to make him the opposite of selfish. I am better for the team if I stay at first base. I make the team more successful, not by moving to the outfield, but by sticking at first base. You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're going to here, but it's a longer stretch than what Harper has to make over there at first base for me. Like, I don't worry about him as an offensive player. Like, I think a move to left, he's already played the outfield. I don't think it's going to weigh on him so much that he would be a detriment to the team offensively.
Oh, well, but see, do you want to take that chance? That's the thing. You already have the known here, him playing first base, being comfortable playing first base, being comfortable as an offensive player because he's comfortable at first base. Now you're throwing that completely out the window. And you say, all right, here's another position, left field. Oh, I've never played left field. All right, well, you're going to play left field now. Now you got to worry about the way this ball spins differently, coming off the bat. It kind of hooks, you get overwhelmed, and maybe that affects you at the plate. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
And the bottom line is this. Dave Dombrowski, for crying out loud, get yourself a right-handed outfielder who can hit right-handed. Play left field.
Then we don't even have to talk about it.
That's what I want to see happen. Not this nonsense about we have to move Harper because of this, and we got to put Otto Kemp in there, and we got to do this, or we had to trade for Devers. Just do the simple thing. 610-632-0975. We'll get to our calls after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The Phillies completed the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays with 11-4 win on Sunday. Zach Wheeler went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run, striking out 9 batters. Otto Kemp had 4 hits, and Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos both homered in the win. The sweep pulled the Phillies within 2.5 games of the Mets in the NL East, and now they go down to Miami for a 4-game set with the Marlins. It's Mick Abel matching up with Sandy Alcantara on the mound tonight down there in Miami. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox trade Rafael Devers to the Giants yesterday in exchange for 4 players. It was not the sole blockbuster across sports yesterday, as the NBA saw the Memphis Grizzlies send Desmond Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks, as well as a pick swap. We get Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight. You can listen to it here on our airwaves. Pacers, Thunder, tied up at 2 games apiece. Game 5 in Oklahoma City. Again, you can hear it right here on The Fanatic. Union with a 2-1 win over the weekend over Charlotte FC. Marcus Anderson with the game-winning goal for the Union. This update is also brought to you by the local Ream Pro partners at thereamteam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Ream. Stay cool with a high-efficiency AC system from Ream, RHEEM. Find your Ream Pro partner at thereamteam.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, it's 125, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. I don't know if you know this already, Ray, but I'm anti-Savannah Banana.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Why doesn't it surprise you?
Taking the great game of baseball and making it a gimmick.
Exactly, making it a joke. The Savannah Bananas. So did you see what happened this weekend with Savannah Bananas?
Was this Sean Casey?
Sean Casey, the former Cincinnati Red first baseman, I think he's on the MLB Network. They were in Cincinnati, so he joined the Savannah Bananas as a celebrity player. So he walks on 4 pitches. The 4th pitch was a wild pitch. This dude, who's now been out of the game for how long? What is he, about 50 years old? This dude decides that he can try to get to second base on that play. He rounds first, gets to second, blows out his hamstring completely, tears his hamstring. But the bigger question is, why is the Savannah Banana thing so popular? Can you explain to me why this brings people out?
Assuming it's the family side thing,
it's the kid thing. Like I go, well, Mike, you're the Globetrotters. Well, I don't, I'm not a fan of the Globetrotters either. But at least I can see the wisdom of doing tricks with a basketball or making shots like half-court hook shots or doing stuff like that, dribbling exhibitions, the whole bit. Like I don't get the Savannah Bananas. What the attraction is to play bad or to play goofy baseball.
Exactly, the goofy basketball thing.
Yeah, but basketball, but the goofy basketball things has some skills. Like what are the skills that make the goofy baseball attractive?
I mean, doing a backflip and catching a baseball seems pretty difficult.
Doing a backflip?
Backflip.
A backflip and catching a baseball.
Yeah, like their outfielders would do that. The dance numbers I could do without. But
that's it. The backflip catching a baseball.
I can't tell you that I watch a lot of Savannah Bananas baseball. I'll be honest with you. It's not exactly at the top of my viewing pleasure, but I assume that they're doing acrobatic, athletic things to make catches, to entertain them. I don't know. It's not really my thing. If I had to take it or leave it, I'd probably leave it. But good for them. They found the Harlem Globetrotters route.
All right. Has anybody seen the Savannah Bananas? You got to tell me what the attraction is.
I will tell you, the summer I spent in summer collegiate ball, I worked for a team that used to be in the same league as the Bananas back when they were summer collegiate. And that entire town despised the Savannah Bananas. So I can only imagine now seeing what they've become. I also often think back to all the people that I know that hated them then. They must really hate them now because they hated exactly for the same thing. They were trying all these gimmicky things. They were trying all these different things, and they were driven nuts by it.
Who do they play, actually? Who's the opponent?
I think the Party Animals, something like that.
So there's a set team that they play?
Yeah, they got their...
The Party Animals. So when pitcher versus hitter, is that still the same? You got to try to get the guy out? Like, well, pitcher is trying to get a hitter out. So what could be done that would make that into a funny process?
The actual pitching to the guy? I don't know.
Pitching to the guy.
He spins around and swings the bat. I can't tell you. Again, this is not my... I didn't go.
I see. You can't... To me, you can't junk up baseball. It just doesn't lend itself to that. It just doesn't. Like, what? So you you catch a ball like behind your back, a pop fly, it's to the infield, and that's supposed to be...
Here you go. They signed this guy in 2021, nicknamed Stilts. He's the world's tallest baseball player. He was 10 feet, 9 inches tall and played the game all while on stilts.
Why would I care to see that?
I'm just saying this is what they do.
What's he do? He's 10 feet when he stands up there to hit? So he's got a big strike zone? Is that what it is?
I think DHs have made their way to banana ball. I don't think they have the pitchers hit.
Does he pitch, the Stilt guy?
Yeah, he's the tallest pitcher in the world.
Oh, he's the pitcher.
10'9".
Okay, so he pitches on stilts.
Yes. Oh, and he bats on stilts. What's that strike zone like? That's a heck of a strike zone.
Strike zone's got to be enormous.
Easiest guy to strike out in baseball, too.
All right, I'm sorry, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah, there was...
Don't ruin my game, man. Don't ruin it.
There was nothing less surprising now. I knew we had never had that conversation, but I figured that was something. Okay, banana ball rules. You ready?
Go ahead. What's the banana ball rule?
All right, games are won by points instead of runs. Team that scores the most runs in an inning gets 1 point, except the final inning, where every run counts as a point. The final inning may be earlier than the ninth inning due to the time limit. There's a 2-hour time limit, and no new inning may start after an hour and 50 minutes. This is basically like Little League. Batters cannot step out of the batter's box. You saw that in the Casey clip because he kept readjusting and quickly getting back into the box or staying in the box there.
Yeah.
Cannot bunt. If you bunt, you get an automatic ejection. Now,
okay, I'm all right with that.
I actually don't mind that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. You shouldn't be bunting in silly games like that.
Walks are replaced by ball 4 sprints, which is what happened to Casey. No mound visits allowed.
What do you mean ball 4 sprint?
After ball 4, the batter is allowed to advance as far around the bases as he can while the ball is sequentially thrown to all of the fielders other than the pitcher, starting with the catcher. The ball remains dead, with the batter runner not liable to be put out until the 4 infielders and 3 outfielders have each touched the ball. This often results in the batter runner advancing to second base on the sprint.
Hold on one second. Hold on. So you walk a guy, and then they have to toss it to each player, and you can get as many bases as you can?
Correct.
Why is that fun? Why is that funny?
Mike, I'm just explaining the rules. I'm the messenger here.
See, this is more repulsive the more I hear about it.
Yeah, a lot of these are bad.
All right, let's go to Matt. Has some views on airplanes crashing and surviving. Matt from Tabernacle. Oh, crap! I hit the wrong button. Matt, call back. That was my mistake. Sometimes this new board confuses me. Matt, call back, please. Julian joins us in Westchester. Julian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Julian?
I just wanted to ask your guys' opinion on the Eagles this season and how they've lost so many key pieces throughout the offseason, like trading C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Josh Sweat, Milton. So I just wanted to get your perspective.
I think they're going to be fine. I think they have a really good defensive coordinator. I think he's really looking forward to having these new guys move in to various spots. So I think the guys they lost, I get it, but they've replaced it with younger energy, and I like the younger energy. I think that works right in Vic Fangio's hands. So I think you're going to be fine. Now, the only thing that worries me, Julian, is that Saquon Barkley does not have near the same year that he had last year, which means their passing game is going to have to stoke up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I understand the young thing, like Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith stepping up, seeing the Kobe Dean go down and having Oren Burke step up, but now you have no backup aside from Jahad Campbell. I'm pretty excited.
Well, you got Little Trot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Jeremiah Trotter, but he didn't really get that much playing time.
Well, that's what I mean. These guys will get playing time. See, when they allow the guys to leave, I think it's because they have a belief that those other guys are ready to step in, and they trust that defensive coordinator because he's telling them they're ready.
Yeah. And us going through 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years, how do we know that it's just not going to be another Brian Johnson year?
Well, because they're going to run the same way. They're not going to alter much. They found a winning formula. So it's a matter of the defensive coordinators stop that winning formula. They're going to be run-centric and pass off of that. That's what they're going to be. There's not going to be a mystery to that. So I don't know if the offensive coordinator means that much, that he has to be that innovative. Sounds like you're worrying, Julian. You're worrying. You're creating worry for yourself.
I've watched every single game for my whole life. Seeing them perform as well as they did last year gives me a lot of hope, but also seeing some guys that were leaders in the team leave, it doesn't hurt me, but of course, you're always thinking about the worst.
Yeah, no, I get you, Julian. Julian sounds frettable. He's fretting a little bit. I'm not fretting at all about the Eagles. I don't fret. I do think that Barkley's going to be stopped a little more this year. And I don't like the fact that these guys were celebrating a lot in the offseason. But I do believe that they're really a good team. And I think if you stop Barkley, I think that's going to make their offense a little more innovative to get the wide receivers involved, to get maybe Barkley in the passing game a little bit, to get Jalen Hurts running a little bit more. I don't have any qualms about it at all, even if they stop Barkley.
Fretting might be the wrong word for me because I think it's fretting to what extent. Like, I think we did W-Styles, 11, 12 wins still, the two of us. Like, you're still plotting for them to be a contender to win a Super Bowl this year. I'm interested to see, because I think, game planning and not game planning, actually play calling in the game is a little bit of, I don't want to say you have it or you don't skill, but it certainly is something that we've seen it come a lot easier to guys than others. And I'd be interested to see the learning curve for Portillo there. And then defensively, just how long it takes them to adjust. Just because, like, you go in with the guys that you believe in, but even last year, you saw defense early on versus the defense you got later on. It takes a little while to adjust with all those new faces on that side of the football. So how does that impact their start where you end up with the Chiefs, the Rams? I think the Broncos are in there in that first 5 games. I think your first 5 games are 4 playoff teams in the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's not going to be an easy stretch for a defense to get acclimated to one another.
I got you. All right, let's take a break. Oh, your buddy's calling in. Ish with some Phillies.
Yay.
Opinions.
Whoa.
Your buddy Ish. I wonder if he's got a Ray Zinger today.
Get excited.
610-632-0975. I'm sorry, my man who wanted to talk about the plane crashes. I pushed the wrong button. So if you're out there listening to the show, I'd love to hear from you because I wanted to hear what you had to say about that. The Mike Missanelli Show continues after this.
Andrew Salciunas, Sean Kincade.
It's been a long time.
All right, it's 140, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Sometimes I get stuck on these little stories that I read on various websites. I don't even know what to say about this story, but there's a guy who is known as the Sperminator. Did you read this story?
No, I am not familiar with the Sperminator.
You're not familiar. This guy is a math professor at CUNY. His name's Ari Nagel. He donated sperm for 17 straight years to a sperm bank. Mm-hmm. He has 176 offspring in 5 continents.
With 5 continents?
5 continents. Now, I don't know what motivates people to like. Well, like he's fathered 5. His sperm has created 176 human beings.
What's on his profile that's so intriguing?
Well, he's a math professor. I guess he's when he donates his. I guess he's in demand. Like he's an intellectual, whatever. They get the brain and whatever the DNA translates. You got this guy, but he's retiring now. He is officially. He wants the world to know that he's done.
How could you just walk away in your prime like this?
In other words, he's tapped out, right? He's got nothing left to give, literally.
When did someone decide he was the Sperminator? Like, when do you get that nickname? Is that after you hit triple digits?
Apparently, he's well known in the New York area for donating, and so they in the tabloids they've dubbed him the Sperminator.
Does he have like a frequent flyer at that place? Like,
I don't know, man. I can't wrap my hands around this story.
Well, he is no problem.
But he can wrap his hands around it.
I couldn't finish the punchline.
There's a million jokes that can flow from this.
Oh, well, nothing left to flow from him, clearly. That's right. 176.
The tap has been turned off for Ari Nagel, folks.
This is worse than when LeBron retires. 176.
176. Can you imagine? No. That would make me feel really uncomfortable. There's 176 profiles of me around.
Is this guy married?
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Is this guy married?
I don't know the story. I don't know whether he's married or not.
He is.
Is he married?
Doesn't look like it.
Ari Nagel, his name is. He's a professor.
No, he's not.
What's CUNY? What is that?
CUNY. Something University of New York.
Yeah. Wait, what does the C stand? I thought it was SUNY. SUNY.
I also would assumed it was that.
City University of New York.
City University.
There you go.
Say,
Wow, you got the goods on him? Well, what is it?
Saying partner has, quote, daddy issues. So is his partner shutting this down?
What do you mean? Partner has daddy issues. What's that?
Sperminator with 176 kids retires on Father's Day is saying partner has daddy issues.
Oh. So his significant other?
Apparently so.
Has daddy issues? That's why he stopped?
Yes. Even the greats know when to call it.
Doesn't even make sense.
It's best than fun. Wow, look at, these pictures of him with all the different... The Sperminator has gotten into a relationship with a 22-year-old woman.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. She's not the reason why he got into this. He's saying he's in the relationship. She has daddy issues, so she wanted America's dad. This
guy's swinging, man.
Anyway. My legacy will never be money or fame. It's family, said Ari.
Well, good for him. Listen, it's a busy man.
So he got into a relationship with a 22-year-old woman. Good for him. Now, if I was very much invested in this story, like a former Super Bowl champion, we'd dive deep into why he's getting out of the game. But
he had game for a long time.
He did. 176 kids.
Yeah, God bless him. Anyway, I hope you found that story interesting, folks. Let's go to the phones. Ish in Levittown checking in. What's up, Ish?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Hey, I just want to get what's your take after the weekend series on the Phillies? What's your assessment of the team and then the?
Well, they look good, man. They offensively 22-6. They outscored the Blue Jays, so that's all good. Their offense had been struggling, but now the schedule. After this, the schedule gets a little tougher. So we'll see how they do. They beat two pretty good teams with going 5-1. They hadn't been beating the good teams. But they took care of the Cubs. They took care of the Blue Jays. And now the Mets are on the horizon. So we'll see what happens when the schedule gets a little tougher. The Giants are coming in. All this stuff. It's a good measuring stick on how good they are right now with all these new teams, these good teams coming in they're going to face.
So what about a bat and an arm? Do you think we'll have to give up a lot to get those two? Or we need three. You got to fill 3 spots.
Well, you got listen. Ideally, they add a right-handed stick who can play left field, and at least one bullpen guy. So two guys are necessary. If they add 2 bullpen guys, that would also be good. But they're scheduled: Mets at home, at Houston, at Atlanta, San Diego, Cincinnati, San Francisco, San Diego. As we get into the All-Star break, that's a significant team schedule for them.
What's the over/under for you? I'm sorry, I got one last.
Over/under for wins during that? All right, I thought we did that. I think they're going to win 3 or 4 from Miami. I'm not sure they win tonight's game. There's something fishy about tonight's game. 3 or 4, they'll win. Right, 3 against the Mets at home.
1.
All right, that's 5 wins at Houston for 3.
I'll go down this again. Yeah, I'll go 2.
All right, that's 7 wins at Atlanta for 3.
They take 2 or 3.
That's 9. San Diego 3 at home.
They take 2 or 3.
That's 11. Cincinnati at home.
I take 2 or 3.
Wow, you're on a roll here. That's 13 wins at San Francisco for 3.
2 or 3.
That's 2 or 3 again against the Giants. Damn, brother.
There was one of them that was 1 and 3.
You're listening to your buddy Ray here, Ish.
Oh, is that Raymond talking?
That's Raymond. That's Raymond talking. He's got the Phillies going on a major run here.
I think he's a little too hot after that little sunburn. I heard Wayman had his long T-shirt on. He got a little sunburn this afternoon. Is that okay, Wayman? You need sunbathing?
I didn't have a T-shirt on, which is why I got the sunburn-ish.
Yeah, see, no
Listen
T-shirt.
to the story.
He bared it.
You wear a sweater.
He was bearing it, Ish.
You should wear one of your grandma's sweaters so you can marinate in there, Wayman.
If you want to make a good joke, you could joke that I'm always wearing a sweater because of my chest hair, Ish. Get the hell
Ish, I don't know. You're not on point today, Ish. You can do better. All right, next time make sure you do better. All right, he's cracking himself up. I want to hear one more Charles Barkley quote before we get out of here today, and it's the Charles Barkley 4 when I brought up to him that Joyce Irving said he never had a conversation with Joel Embiid, never advised him in any form, and here's what Charles had to say about that.
I've never actually had a conversation with Joel Embiid either. I don't know Doc's situation, but I think I may have said hello to Joel Embiid twice in my life, just hello. But we've actually never had a conversation. All young NBA players should talk to veteran guys because, it could only benefit talking to Dr. J or myself, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, Clement Johnson. Like, talking to older veteran players, man, we know the landscape of basketball first and foremost, but also Philly. And Joel's in a very interesting situation because, man, if he don't get healthy, man, it's going to be rough on him the next X amount of years.
Wow, there you go. He's right about that. And, whether a mentor, like to me, peers talk to peers, right? So like an old school star, I don't know what he can add to a new school player. But somewhere along the line, I think Charles' comments about making him more accountable would have done him a great service. And I think it's too far gone now. So like I said, I am completely not expecting the Sixers to resuscitate in any form. I know a lot of people are, including our buddy Bill, who is still holding out hope. Well, if they're all healthy and then Embiid and George that can play together and play 65 games together, I would be a fool to think that.
Yeah, and I'm even just watching these playoffs. Even the play style right now is really just driving me a little crazy. It's going to take a while before the Sixers goggles go back on for me. I don't have the goggles on.
No, you can't. I hate to. No, I get to a point where I go, reality sets in for me, and I go, I'd be misguided to think that anything can rise up here for the 76ers. I've never seen it happen when things go dour like they are now. I've never seen any kind of resuscitation, so I don't buy it.
But hey, a week and a half from the draft. Get excited for pick 3.
Yes, pick 3, where we talked about the Athletic and a mock draft have the Sixers trading out twice and ending up with Kincade. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff on social media that Kincade is a better prospect than Dylan Harper. And to that I say, oh, come on, man. Seriously, what are we talking about here? Kincade is a better prospect than Dylan Harper? Somebody wrote that. I went back and forth.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Somebody who covers the Sixers, too.
Wow.
I go, come on, man. Seriously. Who is Kincade at this point?
You're very bold.
Like, what kind of an NBA player is he? Who's the guy, the left-hander that came out of Duke who's still in the league? He's a three-point specialist. Played for the Clippers and Memphis, and he's been all over the place.
Yes. Oh, crap.
What is this? I forget his name. Duke left-hander. That's what I think.
Luke Kennard.
Yeah, Luke Kennard. That's who I think Kincade is. Luke Kennard. I think the parallels are similar.
Might be better than Luke Kennard.
You think he is?
Yeah, I mean,
what is he like? Let me ask you this: Does Kincade take the ball to the basket in the NBA? Does he put it on the floor and get it to the basket?
Probably not a ton. No.
No. So then, what is he? He's a pure perimeter player who has to be a spot up guy. I think.
I'm trying to see what. Yeah, Kennard hasn't really defensive.
He's a good 3-point shooter. But can you defend in the NBA? If you're Kincade, can you defend in the NBA? Can you put it on the floor and get to the basket occasionally? That would be my question. And I would say I don't see that in that kid. I think he's been elevated because after pick number 4, I think it gets weaker.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because they keep saying the Sixers have 4 in mind. There at 3. Who actually is amongst that 4? Like you would imagine it's Bailey, Edgecombe, and Johnson is 3 of those guys?
Maybe it's, Johnson. I did a show with Amy Fiddle. She loves Johnson.
She's a big fan of Trey Johnson.
Big fan of Trey Johnson. I'm not so sure.
I'm not as sold. Though I am continuing to talk myself out of Ace Bailey, which means this draft needs to get here.
You're talking yourself out of Ace Bailey?
Yeah. I know we had Steve Picolati. He tried to explain away their season.
Yeah, you don't like the fact that they didn't do anything.
And I also don't think,
well, then that puts you down on Dylan Harper as well, right?
Of the two of them, I see more flaws in Bailey's game right now. Like, I think when Harper steps onto the floor with it, I see a little bit more. But, yeah, you're right.
I think Dylan Harper's a bigger Jalen Brunson. I really do. I like his pace.
So you would be a team trade-up?
I would definitely trade up for him. Yeah.
Well, let's put a pin in that.
Yeah. No, I definitely would. I think that he's really going to be a really solid player in the NBA. I like him a lot. All right. That'll do it for today. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the show, joining into the conversation, and we'll do it again tomorrow, Ray. You going to be here?
That's the plan.
That's the plan?
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned because Unfiltered's coming up next, where Bill Colarulo will explain why Otto Kemp is now the new flavor and why he should be in the lineup every day. Take care, everybody. Good night. See ya.